1, 2, 3, 4. We are live. G'day, guys. How are we all?
G'day. Welcome to our Sunday night paranormal talks. And this week's guest is our lovely Soula Vaitsis. She's from Paranormal Adventures Australia. She's a demonologist. We've had her help a few times when we've had cases in Sydney. And we want to thank you dearly for always helping us, Sula. We wouldn't be able to do it without you. Welcome to our talk, guys.
And welcome, Sula.
Hello.
So, tell us about yourself, mate.
About me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm the founder and director of Paranormal Adventures Australia and the Australian Paranormal Conference and Expo, which we haven't been able to do for the last 2 years because of the COVID stuff, but we are doing it next year in March. And we have a team at the moment of 11 very dedicated people, gifted people, and work really well together. So we run ghost tours, investigations, we do our episodes. More than anything, we help people in serious situations where there's paranormal issues, demonic issues, that sort of stuff. And I network a lot with people such as yourself and other people within Australia on those sort of more deeper cases.
Okay.
And also, if anybody's got any questions that they'd like to ask, please just chuck it in the comments and I'll put them up for Sula. Don't be afraid to ask questions. We don't mind.
No. So firstly, what is the difference between a haunting from a lower entity and a demonic haunting?
Okay, where a lower entity can be something that is negative spirit, a human passed over and has been here for a long time, a spirit that's angry. Sometimes they can turn non-human. So you call that a lower entity. And sometimes you've got lower demons, which they're demonic, but they're not of the higher realm or the more serious guys. And then the other ones are actually demonic. So you're talking about higher ranking demons that are here to do what they're meant to do. And that's obviously at the end of the day to take a soul. That's their end goal.
Okay. All right. So with paranormal investigators, there's a lot of us and we all love doing what we're doing. So what advice would you give anyone that wants to start out in the field that finds it interesting? What advice would you give them?
All right. I always say that they need to actually do their homework. So research before you sort of buy all the equipment and go out there and start, experimenting yourself or with a group. Learn from other people. It's like the people that know what they're doing, people who have been in the field for a while. Learn the different ways of doing things, the do's and don'ts, especially protecting yourself. Once you've sort of got a good idea of what paranormal investigating is, then sort of maybe reach out to a team. Join a team first. Don't create your own. Join a team first that's been there for a while. Learn, and then you can venture out and start doing things on your own or create your own team. Because I find that the biggest problem we have is these younger teams, I will say, mainly, that will come out and think it's so much fun just to go out to cemeteries or bust into a new place and that's haunted and run around with all this equipment or provoke or do things like that, and then they find themselves that they're not feeling good, they're depressed, they feel different, they've got attachments, they've brought things home with them. And sometimes, you don't know what you're going to bring home and they're going to teach you a lesson. So it is important. And the thing that I hate the most is people calling themselves ghostbusters or, that sort of thing. You're not going out there busting ghosts, and if you're going to investigate properly and document it. Otherwise, what are you there for?
For sure.
Look like Felicity's asked you a question there. How did you become a demonologist?
People call me a demonologist. Look, I had a lot of things happen to me from a young child. It all began at 7, and I've had a few encounters with the demonic side. So I've been through the oppression and infestation stage of that sort of thing. And at some point I got help and have the help was a lot with priests more than anything. And from there, I studied it because I wanted to know, why does this constantly happen to me? What is going on? Why am I seeing these things? Why are they attacking me? Why is my life like this? And I thought I was going crazy. So the first thing was to get the help, which I did, and then I studied it. So I've studied different Bibles. I've studied different religions and beliefs in demons, their ranking. Also, you've got to know the angel part of it, your heavenly realm. Not everybody studies it that way. I do. This is the way that I do things. And that's how I became what people call a demonologist.
There's another question there for you.
Do demons attach themselves to certain people?
No, a demon can attach themselves to anybody. If your vibration is low, I'm going to be straightforward with this. If you're a scumbag, you're susceptible to it. If you're into drugs, if you know, and you're a narcissistic person, if you're a murderer, if you're an alcoholic, you know, if you just treat people badly, if you're playing with the paranormal without knowing what you're doing and opening up portals, you are so open for that to happen. And a demon doesn't pick and choose. It's like cancer. It doesn't discriminate. So it'll latch on to whatever it is. You're a soul. So at the end of the day, no, you can't say that, oh, I do this, so therefore a demon can never attach themselves or oppress me, possess me. Yes, they can. Absolutely.
Okay. Another one for you to read.
Was it attack? Do demons attack me? Is that what it says?
Yeah, do demons attack me? That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. Sorry.
Can somebody
and I could talk to you.
Felicity said thank you for the answer too.
Can somebody
be cursed by a location, or could it possibly be an entity?
So we're speaking curses, how they happen, or
could someone be cursed by somebody, or can a location be cursed?
A location can be cursed. It has happened where, you know, you could go back 300, 400, 1,000 years where a curse has been placed on the property or the land, and people who tend to move in tend to have that curse happen to them. And when they move out, it's gone. Sometimes it's a generational curse, so it follows generations, and you've got to find somebody to help you to break that generational curse. If it's a curse on the land, depends where you're from. Like let's use Australia for an example. Usually our land, our Indigenous people are the people to get in to help you. People like us, of course, would be there, but we're not Indigenous. We don't know the ways, everything that they do, and how do they move on a curse on the land or spirits that are still on the land. There's various ways. Like we've tried to actually move on Indigenous spirit, and we've succeeded in some. In others, we haven't, where we've had to bring elders in to do things with us or on their own, and that has done the job. So, yeah.
Wow.
And people curse you as well. People can throw curses at you. That it's called psychic attack as well. There's a lot of bad craft. It's a matter of finding out exactly if you are cursed or not, which is a spell, really. And you can tell. You change. Things happen from, you know, the way your life was going, la-di-da, all good. Then all of a sudden something tragic happens, and then tragic things keep happening, or you get really sick or something like that. And, seek the help.
Wow. So interesting. Now, most people know Lorraine Warren. She's one of the famous demonologists, Conjuring series. Just think of Lorraine and Ed Warren. She once quoted that in every cemetery there's a demon. Do you believe that?
I would say it is very possible. Very possible. I wouldn't say 100% every cemetery. Reason why I say very possible is because not everybody that has been buried is somebody that was a good person. You've got people that are buried in cemeteries, like I said, that were murderers, that were, you know, very bad people, have been in jail, all sorts of things. So, yeah, they could be there. They could be pissed. And if you happen to be there when if they're visiting, or they don't stick to their actual gravestone.
No.
But if they happen to be, then you're unlucky, sort of thing. And then
Yeah.
there's also energies that like keep good spirits from crossing over, and they hold them there. So yeah, Lorraine might be right, but I couldn't say 100%.
Okay.
I've got a question for you too. I watch a lot of YouTubes, as you probably know, and I see people using apps. And it's a question I think a lot of people ask: are you demonic? Are you a good spirit or a bad spirit? What do you think about that?
Well, see,
Will a
you've got
bad
to,
spirit say yes, or will it just say no?
well, the thing is, you don't know what you're dealing with because you've got to be very tricky and smart in the way you ask the questions and how you can trip up something that's lying to you, because something that's negative or demonic is going to lie. It's not going to tell you that it's bad. And they always come in the good way. That's the way they sort of get you to connect and start talking. So I could say, are you a demon? And I'll get no. And then you might hear a really sinister chuckle in the background at some point. There's certain questions you've got to ask. It depends where you are, the history of the place. And if you know something, say, about Mary Jane, who passed away 2 years ago and died on that property, and you ask that question and you don't get any responses back, but then you say, well, I think you're full of shit, which, sorry, I do it because I protect myself properly. You get action. So you've got to actually trick them. Not everything comes across as a good spirit. I've had people say to me they think that their dad or their mum or their grandfather or something is in the house, and it turns out it's not the case. 50% of the time it is, 50% of the time it's not.
That's good.
And unfortunately, and uneducated sort of investigators or psychic mediums that, that aren't really where they should be yet, that will go in and say, shit, you've got a demon here. I can feel very bad stuff in here, or you need to get out of the house. And then we'll go in and do our investigation. Usually it is their own manifestation of negative energy because of the state of mind that they've been in, trauma, mental illness, alcoholism, like I said, drugs, abuse, violence. So, yeah, you've got to be very careful.
Another question for you?
Flick's got another question for you. Can demons be stuck in the cemetery and not be able to go over the boundary line of the cemetery? No. So if I stepped out of the boundary, would I be stuck within the boundary?
No, demons have free will just like we do. So they can go wherever they want.
Okay. So have you noticed an increase in hauntings or more nastier hauntings since COVID-19?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In saying that, the vibration of the world is so low and people are very depressed. They've got anxiety. People have lost, jobs. It's a really tough time for everybody across the world. So you're talking about not just one little area of the world. You're talking the whole world has the same energy at the moment. A lot of death and all suicides, all that kind of stuff. So we are getting an influx of calls, people wanting help, thinking that they're seeing things in their home. And it's not. Most of it has become more of a mental illness. The fact of being stuck in their homes for so long, losing their jobs, feeling hopeless, all that contributes to that lower vibration. And some of them do end up with attachments, yes, because they're extremely open. Even people like us at the moment, what we do, we've got to be extra careful in what we're doing because we're also part of that low vibration. We've been thrown in it. So,
Your sister.
Yeah. Is there anyone in Adelaide that can help someone who thinks they may have an attachment? I can answer that, and you can answer that.
Yeah, we're going to
we have another team. But Sula often works with this other team in Adelaide. I think these two are the only ones in Australia that we know of.
Yeah, this one here, Mary wants to know how to protect yourself against demons or curses.
How do we protect ourselves from demons and curses?
From demons and curses. Okay. One, you've got to believe that there is a hell and a heaven or something of that nature, good and bad, okay? Because you can't believe one without the other. Two, fear it because they are strong and they can do some serious damage. The way to protect yourself is either you have a faith or you have a way of cleansing, clearing your home. So you basically need to constantly, and I mean constantly, where it comes like a weekly or every second day, it may be every day that you want to do it. Do your prayers if you're of that faith. Do your affirmations if you're spiritual. Cleanse your home. There's things like, of course, sage, which is the North American way of doing it, Indian American. There's rue, frankincense, myrrh, all these other things that you can use, and you could constantly reach out to us and we can tell you what to use, and you should be protected. But if at any point you feel lower than you normally do, lift up the ante, do more cleansing. And if you feel that you can't, for whatever reason, get somebody in to help you do that. Otherwise, like I said before, demons or negative things don't discriminate. If your energy is low, your aura is muddy, you're yucky, and your vibration is low, you're very open to things like that happening.
Okay. We have another question. Do you find using religious items such as crosses and things help you, protect you?
For me, and I need to clarify this for people, because sometimes I put up some articles on my page and some people go, here we go again, it's a religious thing or it's Christianity. My belief system is in Christianity, but at the same time, I'm very open to every other way of thinking. So in my team, we have Christians, we have spiritualists, we have omnists, and we have atheists. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is the light of work, that kind of thing. So when you're working with the light, it doesn't matter what you believe in. Because I believe in the cross, when I use the cross and I put my intent into it, it works.
Okay.
Now, there's some clients who don't believe in that and don't want that to happen, and that's fine. So therefore, we will do it in the way that they want to, or we'll bring in a Buddhist, a shaman, whatever it is, because the people themselves need to believe in what you're doing as well. So realistically, nothing works unless the belief is there and the intent is true.
I've always felt
Any
that.
safe for birds? Don't understand.
No, I think for animals, I don't think.
It's like
have you ever had a case of animals being possessed?
Or
No.
been just,
I myself haven't. Animals tend to notice them more than we do.
I swear.
So you might get an animal growling, barking, whatever, snarling, or a cat, their hair sticks up or whatever. That's usually, letting you know there's something there. But I've never come across a case of an animal being possessed.
Okay. So basically, I think I've asked all my questions.
Just say, like a cat, people might have a haunting going on, and their cat or dogs might be acting weird. What can you tell the person to do for their safety to see if it's not haunted?
Well, the first thing I ask them is, do you cleanse your home? And if they tell me, yes, I do, and I do it quite often, then it would be probably a case where we go out and have a look and see what's going on, or get somebody close to them to go and see what's going on and see if, in fact, there is something going on, or is there other issues involved. It's not until you actually get a person's background, the truth, and the truth is very important, that you can actually make a call, because I could go into a place and we could get communication with something, but a client has, deliberately not told me something, which is very important to the link. And then we may be fighting something that we think we should be doing this way, but actually all it's doing is aggravating it. So yeah, that's what I say to them. First, cleanse your home if you haven't. And I usually will provide things. I just send people stuff and tell them how to use it, whether it be prayers, affirmation, whatever cleansing product. That doesn't work. We sometimes have to do a thing called deliverance. So that's going through a series of prayers, seeing if those prayers affect a person or affect activity in the house. So there's a little bit of experimentation going on to find out exactly what is going on in a house.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
can you...
I don't want to talk about cases because they're all private and confidential.
Here's another question. Just come in. I'm just bringing it up now.
You can use intent or holy water, a spritz, whatever you believe in. Was that a question, Flick? Or so I think it was, can you use intent, holy water, or a spray, whatever is comfortable? So I think she just wanted to confirm that.
Yes, you can. Like I said before, my belief system, I use across. I use the holy water. I use blessed oil. I use those religious artifacts and all that kind of stuff. I use the Bible because my intent is real and that's what I believe in. It works for me.
So it's a lot of it with your being safe is based on your belief system. So if you have the faith and pray, or whoever, whether it's, the intent's there so that it's okay.
Yeah. Look, I've got to say too, and I really didn't want to touch too much about demons.
That's what a bird person wanted to know.
But when you look at it, when you study demonology and you see the different religious beliefs in demons, like for instance, Hindus, Jewish, Christianity, Orthodox, Catholic, whatever you are, all the demons have a specific role, right? They all look different to different religions and cultures, but they have the same role. So these demons are the one and the same. They're just called something different in different cultures and religions, right? So there is different types of demons for Hindus or different types of demons for Christians or for spiritualists. They're all the same. We just call them something different and we see them as something different. So it does not matter what you use as long as the intent is right. You're fighting the same demon.
Okay. What's the most unusual case you've had, without mentioning names or people or anything like that? What's the most unusual experience you've had?
We had an experience where we had a case ongoing for a few months with a young lady who had a succubus situation, and she also had a mental illness. Through that, we had to go through the process of eliminating the succubus and doing what we had to do there. And then we had to work on the mental illness side of it. So that's unusual in itself, because when you have mental illness and you also have a demonic entity, which is why I say when your aura and your energy is low, anything can happen, especially with mental illness. That was a very hard detachment to happen. So we saw quite a few things happen. Someone that would piss or shit on a cross, would stare at you, or would see you as a demon, or the lady was very sexual towards me and other people in the team. That all stopped once we got other people involved as well, and we did what we had to do to remove that entity. Then we had to work on the mental illness, and for me, praise God, she's okay today.
That's great.
That's awesome.
What's your funniest one that made you laugh? That made you laugh after a case that you thought, holy cow, I didn't realise, it was just something that was little.
I don't think I've ever had a funny case, mate. Really, when we talk to people, we sort of, we ask the questions. There's a series of questions that we go through. And we need a little bit of evidence before we go out and see people, because there's a lot of idiots out there that'll screw with your time, and we don't have time for that. So we learned a long time ago, we had people that, I had an email, once saying that he thought he could see Snoopy in his house. Snoopy was haunting him. And I just thought,
the cartoon Snoopy?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was mental illness. So look, I did say, I think you need to go and see somebody first before we can do anything, and never heard from him again. And then you've got other idiots that saying, I've got this happening in my house and that happening, come and slay it and all this kind of stuff. And I expect that. That's not a problem. But yeah.
I believe you won tours.
Yes.
Yes, we
was
do.
our.
You'd like to tell us everybody about these tours that people can look up and you can tell them more information?
Yeah, sure. If you jump on our website, which is just Paranormal Adventures Australia, you'll find them all there. We have tours, ghost tours and public investigations at Shamrock Hotel Bendigo every month. And we also have a dinner and tour at Maryborough Railway Station. And luckily, we'll be opening up again at Old Gibbstown Heritage Park again, doing ghost tours and investigations there.
Wow.
Sounds awesome. And if people wanted to ask you any questions or any advice or help, do they also jump on the website to contact you?
They can do it through the website or they can do it through our Facebook page. My details are up there, so anyone is free to call me, message me, whatever the case may be, they can go for it.
Okay.
Excellent.
So afterwards, when we finish chatting, Jason Ghost Hunter, as you know, has a Facebook page. Sula, would you mind putting your links up on there so people can see your website and also be able to access a Facebook page, so if they need to contact you for help? And also, if anyone's interested in doing the tours, we're going to do them. I can't wait to go to Victoria. How they can buy the tickets.
Yep, absolutely. Tickets through the website. It'll take you straight to it. You can book your tickets. Also, we've got expos going on. We recently had the Bendigo Psychic and Paranormal Expo, which was absolutely fantastic. Very big. Had about, I think, 238 people come through. Everyone was flat chat and everyone had a fantastic time. So because of that, now we're doing it at Maryborough Railway Station in October, I think. No, November. We've also got other little events going on. So we've got the 80s Let's Dance with the Ghosts. Disco
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
love that.
Over, and then we've also got the on Halloween we've got the masquerade ball, Halloween masquerade ball at the Shamrock, and next March we're doing our big Australian Paranormal Conference and Expo, where we're going to have quite a few guests from interstate, hopefully, as long as this travel crap and everything else that's going on. But it's the way we planned it. It's going to be huge, and that will be on the 26th of March. At the Abbotsford Convent in Melbourne, and it is co-hosted with Australian Paranormal Society, Amanda and Bill.
Okay, thank you.
That's from Mick.
Can't wait. Mick says, hello, and can't wait for you to get back to old Gibbstown. You got this.
Thanks, Mick. We can't wait either.
Well, hopefully the borders lift so we can get our backsides down there, because we do miss you, and we talk all the time, and a lot of people, like with the COVID stuff, it's really has affected a lot of people in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
it's really put us all at a halt in a sense, and you've got to sort of reorganize yourself and compromise the way that you're doing things. And what we do in our field, it's really difficult when you can't be there with the person. Sometimes it can work when you talk like this. Sometimes it doesn't work. You actually need to be there hands-on. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I do believe you've got a YouTube page.
Yes, we do. We do our episodes too. We are getting together season 2 for next year, but we won't release that till early next year sometime. We'll just release it as a whole season. We've done some interesting places, but what we've focused on more so this time is the real people. I mean, everybody goes to the ghost tours of all the well-known places, and we do have some of that. But it is the real people, the everyday people who are experiencing paranormal situations in their home, that we are now showing people and showing them the difference between mental illness and the paranormal situation, and an actual paranormal situation without the mental illness. For them we want to educate people more than just go, hey, look at this. We were at so-and-so, some iconic place, and this happened. Great. You know what I mean? But nobody really talks about the issues that everyday people have. And
if anybody's got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll put them up so Sula can see them, and this is your opportunity to ask these questions, and don't be shy to ask. Yep. But hopefully these borders open up soon, because we we want out. We want to get away.
We all do, I think. And I know I really want to get around and see everybody too. And, go it like in September, I'm supposed to be going to Tassie, so I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I guess it's just kind of like wait and see.
I know. I just cancelled leave for August. Unfortunately, birthday boy's going to have Uber Eats with me because we're on lockdown until at least the end of August, possibly until the end of September, they're saying. So.
Oh, wow.
Very boring. But
So
it was your turn last year with Victoria, so it's ours this year.
Yeah, it's our 5th one, and I think we're going to have another week of it. So it won't be 2 weeks; it'll be 3 weeks, and
it's just annoying.
And I can understand protesting, and at the same time, no, because they're fed up, and things could be done a little bit differently. I won't go too much into it. If I get started, I'd probably
no. No,
it's like, what do you do? Is this right? Is that wrong? What is this? What they're telling us the correct story? Is that not the correct story? You just don't know. There's so much confusion.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. I'm just going to bring it up.
Can an evil entity just give up if you refuse to let it get you?
After a while, yeah, and that can be a while. When an evil entity, I'm assuming she's speaking demonic of some sort.
Yeah.
Is pursuing you, they've already got your attention. So it's called infestation, the infestation stage, right? So if you don't get there quick and start doing what you have to do, it'll go to oppression, where it starts to basically manipulate the way you feel, the way you think, the things you do, all of that sort of stuff. Then after that comes possession, which is very rare. So, some people say, I think I'm possessed or whatever. I can tell you 9 out of 10 times it's not the case. It could be oppression or an infestation, or it could be a mental illness. But no, they're not that easy to get rid of. It takes a while. I mean, look, some people can say that they can pull out a demon out of you in 5 seconds by doing some kind of smoking thing around you or putting some amulet on you and a demon's out. Sorry, that doesn't work that way.
No.
They're the people you be careful of.
I think I was going to have a question. With like demons, do they often impersonate children?
Yes.
As ghosts?
Yes. They do. And you'll find that children are the ones that will hear child ghosts the most. If you look back in history, when children have been involved, children spirits, it's mainly, not always, but mainly children that'll hear it. So where they say to them, I've got a friend, or I'm talking to my friend, and you think they have, this invisible friend. They start off that way, and then slowly they creep in and they get more sinister, and then dangerous things start to happen. Because they're not going to approach a child as a demon or as a negative looking thing and scare them. Absolutely not. They're going to engage with a child or an adult in a way that seems okay. It seems comfortable. Where some people say, oh, he's all right. He's a good spirit. We don't mind him being around. Cool. 5 out of 10 times that might be the case, but the other 5 out of 10 times it's not the case, and you've got to be very careful.
It's like,
no, go for it.
It's like if you've got a kid saying, the owners see a little kid saying, can I stay? You shouldn't say yes, you should say no.
Correct. No, because then you have just let that in to come through, and it's open slather.
Okay.
Yeah.
With hauntings, like cases, haunted houses type thing, people say they've got something going on. If their kids are getting attacked or hurt in some way, is it always demonic, or could it be just a lower entity?
It's not always demonic. It's not even sometimes a lower entity. It could be spirits that are attached to the place and historically have been there for a long time, or maybe have just passed away and are there and they don't want people in the house. And they could be nasty people where they will attack a child and everybody in the family to get you out.
Yeah.
So it's not always demonic.
Okay. I think I'm throwing them questions out there just to get rid of some of the myths that are out there. You know,
Oh.
often we'll have people say, my kid's getting their hair pulled or attacked. It must be a demon straight away. You know what I mean? So I think I'm just showing the people watching that, yeah, there's just arsehole spirits out there. They're not always demonic. So
That's right. And, you know, some spirits have lived in a home. There's some homes that haven't been lived in, say, for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. And the spirits have lived there. They've remained there. They're earthbound. So a family moves in, and all of a sudden it's like, you're taking my home. So therefore, they will scare a child, they will scratch you, they will roll things down the stairs, they will do things like that to scare you enough to get you out of the house. So when you do bring a priest in and you bless them, one of two things can happen. If it is just a spirit, a human spirit, we're talking, a priest or, like we said, a shaman, whoever, can help that family move on. And you can live in that house peacefully. If it's not, then obviously the activity amps up. And then you've got this more serious type of haunting going on where, you know, you get the big guns out.
okay. Flick wants to know, with the ones that say they can remove demons with an amulet or in 5 minutes, could be their demon giving other demons power?
A demon giving other demons power. No, look, demons in themselves have one purpose, and that is to destroy humankind, right? So they will work through people in any which way to make sure that they can do that. So could they be working through somebody who thinks it's doing the right thing and causing the wrong thing to happen? Yes.
Okay.
They can. But that's up to the individual and that.
Okay. Can a place gather demons and spirits?
They can hold them, yes. If a spirit in the spirit realm, if a spirit hasn't crossed over for whatever reason, if they're in limbo, they're lost, or whatever the case may be, if they're waiting for a loved one, they can still take a soul. The soul has not crossed over for it to go. It is still a soul. It is not the body in the ground that they're after. It's the soul that they're after.
Okay, someone wanted to know, what do you think about the religious practice of speaking in tongues?
One, what do you mean the religious practice of speaking in tongues? I know that demons speak in tongues, and they usually speak in Latin, and they can speak my language because they can read your mind. They know who you are. They know everything about you. But I don't understand what you mean.
I used to be part of a church, but obviously this person they call themselves a Pentecostal, and what they do, they make you speak in tongues, and they think the only way God can get through you is if you allow yourself to speak in tongue. So it's to open yourself up to God's energy and let this channeling, speaking tongues. I went there once and they did it. I couldn't do it. Actually, I went there twice. I couldn't do it and I left. It just didn't feel right to me. But there is a church out there about speaking in tongues.
Personally, for me, whether you're religious or not, whatever you believe in, the higher divine light or God, you don't need to speak in tongues. Communication is telepathic with the divine. So you don't even need to speak.
I agree with you. I've felt that. Ruthie would like, hello Ruthie, by the way. What would you advise people who play with some of the apps that can be accessed online but aren't trained or have the experience in this field? And I assume the phone apps, like our ghost hunting apps that we use?
Yep. Look, I don't have that much faith in the apps. We do use EchoVox. And when we do use EchoVox, we will actually turn off the phone, turn off notifications, the whole thing, because your phone picks up everything you say. So if you're in the middle of an investigation and you're doing other things, saying things, that is picked up words. It's like, you know, Facebook, you can click on, you know, bras and things or something, and then all of a sudden, or you may say something on that day, and all of a sudden you're seeing all these ads pop up. Same thing with your or paranormal ads. So I wouldn't put too much faith in it, and don't play with them if you don't know what you're doing. If you protect yourself, I always say protect yourself before you do anything that involves the paranormal, and protect yourself after it. It's like watching horror films. and things like that, reading horror stories, all that kind of stuff. Protect yourself before you do, because you're actually opening yourself up to that kind of thing. And people don't really know that, don't understand that even just being, you know, crazy about horror films or paranormal films, supernatural stuff, that you're actually opening up an entry. So you need to protect.
I believe that. I used to watch a horror show, and my son said he could feel the energy of the place change because I was obsessed about this horror show that came on every night. So I had to do blessings. So I believe what you're saying. It's very true. It's funny how we don't realize what we're actually doing. Like it's so easy to open a portal. You know what I mean?
Well, when I study, and you know, because I study, you know, quite a few negative things, I'll always light a white candle. This is me. It's not for everybody, but I light a white candle. I'll sage the house, and then I'll begin. I'll ask for protection from the angels, and then I'll begin. And when I'm finished, I'll thank them for the protection and to keep that protection there.
Okay. Mary has a question. I don't want to get too much into it, Mary, but what is the sign or symptoms that it could be an attachment?
Well, the biggest indicator is yourself. If you're talking about attachment to yourself, if you know yourself well enough, and then all of a sudden you are doing things that you normally wouldn't do, you all of a sudden have started smoking, and you never smoked. You started drugs, like for no reason. We're talking about not having depression, not having anything like that, and all of a sudden everything's changing and quite rapidly. Then you could say you may have an attachment happening there, but you've got to rule it out first. You've got to go and see a doctor, make sure that, you know, something may have happened where, you know, you've got clinical depression, or you've got anxiety, or, you know, something in the subconscious has come forward now and it's showing. If that's all cleared, then you can say, all right, there's something attached to me. Plus, an attachment will let you know, because things will happen around your house. Okay. It won't be back.
Let's ask another question.
How can you tell if someone's cursed you?
You can't. Unless you're a witch and you know how it works, you won't be able to tell the difference or when it's happened. It's usually how you start to feel. Look, I've heard of curses where people have, you know, all of a sudden life's fantastic, and then their partner dies, and then a dog dies, and then they lose their job. You know, once you have a series of things like that happening, you sit there and you just go, this just can't be coincidence, and it just can't be a stroke of bad luck all the time. They're serious stuff. That's a curse.
Okay. That's very interesting, because that was like when we moved up the mountains. We just had a series of events. Yeah. It's like we got cursed.
Yeah, as if you've been here, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Could be the land too that's cursed, that creates all that stuff to happen. So there's a lot of...
We actually saw, when we were up in the Blue Mountains, we actually saw a female entity, and she wasn't friendly. But she would more focus on Jason when I wasn't home. She would up tilt furniture and stuff like that, or you'd hear footsteps going to the front door, and the cats would all turn and line up at the door expecting someone to come through the door. You'd hear the door handle turn, and then no one would come. So it'd be that kind of thing. The only time I saw her was once when I was in the backyard. I turned and I saw a woman staring at me, or us, from the veranda, because it was kind of like on a cliff type thing. And when I was moving house, I saw the skirt of someone going around the side. But it wasn't a good house. The whole time we lived there, we had nothing but bad luck. We were depressed. Everything was happening. So could possibly been a cursed land or something.
What about water lines running underneath the property?
Sorry, say that again.
What about water lines running under your property?
Yeah.
Could that cause anything with spirits?
Yeah. Look, if you have a mixture of water running under your house, if you've got the grid lines, the ley lines, they call them, under your house, that causes quite a bit of EMF. And we can't function properly with too much EMF around us. We start to hallucinate, all that kind of stuff. And there's really nothing paranormal going on other than your body. So sometimes what we do is we need to, if we can't get rid of whatever's there, then we look at the land and go, well, hang on a minute. Is it possible that there could be too many ley lines here affecting the person's body and they're hallucinating? Some people will say they'll leave the house and they're fine. Not a problem. They come back and they're seeing things again. Now, I'm just saying sometimes it is that. It is the fact of the running water and the ley lines creating so much EMF that, yeah, it can let spirit through, but it can also make you hallucinate and think that you're seeing things that aren't there.
The Blue Mountains have a lovely area, but have a lot of indigenous stories.
Yeah, I've heard that, Fairy. I've heard that, and it does have a big dream time thing. We're talking about the Blue Mountains, how it has a big indigenous like spirit activity up there, so it could even have been possibly something to do with that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You've got to remember this. Australia is thousands of years old, and we did have Indigenous people living here, and they had their ways, and they hold the land very sacred. So you end up on where a tribe used to be, where they're still possibly still there. All sorts of things can happen, but we need to respect them. And I've found that if you respect them, the spirits, and you understand them, they tend to leave you alone. They're not going to go away just because you want them to, but they tend to leave you alone. It's the respect that we need to give.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Normally what we do, we ask a few questions, Sula, and then after that it becomes a chit-chat night. You can talk about anything. So, and, because we don't want it to be too formal. We like it to be laid back. The people that view us always able to approach us and ask us questions. Yeah.
Yep. And guys, I don't look like this every day. Trust me. I like to be in my pajamas and have my hair up and wear my Uggies.
I had missed a question here.
Missed a question.
Just bring it up now.
We had the Fleet Convict. Anger and deaths too, and murders. That's very true, Flick. And I know Bowen was named after the lieutenant. That wasn't very nice, apparently. So it could even have been anger towards him, and because we were on like a street named after him and a town named after him, that could have caused hostility as well.
Question: what equipment? Sorry. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
No, I just said, as you can see, there's all these different factors that you've got to consider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can a spirit hand? Got a question for you. I'll just bring this up.
I've got really bad eyesight. That's why I'm squinting, because he's got this little laptop. So I wait for it to go up.
On the TV. There you go. Can a spirit
in a home be friendly but become hostile over time? Definitely, Blana. Like Sula said before, they'll come as a nice person. You think they're safe. They think like their grandma or grandpa, and then all of a sudden their energy changes and becomes hostile.
A nice spirit, when we mean nice spirit, we're talking about a normal spirit that is just earthbound, is not ready to leave, is there to protect the home or the land or something like that, is not going to do anything to hurt you. And sometimes they give you signs that they're there, which scares us because it's something you can't see. So when we can't see something,
have made him angry.
Yeah, or you could have done something that upset them, that is a trigger of something that may have happened in their past life, and they just let you know, don't do it. And if you continue to be doing something that they don't like, then yes, they will up the ante and let you know they're not happy. But it doesn't mean they're sinister, it doesn't mean they're negative.
Okay.
What kind of equipment do you like to use while you're on an investigation?
My favourite baby is the REM pod. Everybody sort of has their own.
On the road of Australia.
Hi, Jeff.
Sorry?
Saying hello to Jeff. He just hopped on board. Jeff's also a paranormal investigator based in Sydney. So I was just saying hi. Fairy Dragon is a medium. I'm not sure what town you live in,
I
Fairy.
think that might be the answer. Why he's angry, I changed my ways. Okay, that's good.
That's good. And you've got to remember, Balana, I'm sorry, I'm speaking to my sister through this channel. Mental health does play a game on how we feel and how we perceive things too. So, yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, she's in New South Wales, Fairy.
Fairy's in New South Wales. I'm meeting all these people through this channel, and I say hello to them all the time, but I don't know where they're from. But I want to say thank you for everyone being on the channel and
what's your
hello.
YouTube? Your YouTube
yeah.
name for people who here want to come and watch you? Tell everybody your YouTube name.
It's just Paranormal Adventures Australia. Type it in and it'll bring it up.
So I might put a link after this so people can follow the link, and also links on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Right.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. Any questions you like?
Does anyone want to talk about an experience that they've had that they've always wondered about?
Oh, looks like someone's come up on the road. Where were you based?
Ravens in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melbourne based.
Yep.
The good state.
Fifth lockdown.
Hey, before COVID happened, we were planning to move to Melbourne. We wanted to move there. And now it's like, what's the point? Like, we've got good jobs where we are now. We're in a happy place, and it's really not much point other than we miss our beautiful friends because we don't really have many up here. But
have you seen a dog demon man?
Oh, the jackal? Is that what you're talking about?
A dog.
Have you seen a dog man demon?
I've not seen a dog man demon, but I have seen a demon dog, which is called Hellhound.
No. She said no.
Okay. Terrified.
So demon dogs are real.
Hellhounds.
Yeah.
I have experienced at a younger age, and my great grandfather also experienced the Hellhounds, and demonic situations happened to him. So it's jumped a few, and it's jumped onto me. So
one question I did have for you: what's a shadow person? Are they a lower entity or just a ghost?
They are a lower entity, and people have different versions of what they think a shadow person is, and the Hat Man. Basically, some people call them the Hag. Some people say that it's a lower entity energy that wants to have life. It's never lived, never been human, and therefore it watches you at night. And usually you'll see a shadow person in your bedroom. Most of the time that's what you hear. What they're doing is they're watching, but they actually do want to be you. So they sort of can, over time, like an oppression, infestation of who you are, like an attachment, let's say. So can they get really nasty? Absolutely they can. But what they really are, we don't really know where they've come from. And that they didn't come out, I think, until 2003. There was a lot of sightings of the Shadow Man going on.
That's
and I'm sure
asking that one there.
Coming out.
We know National American story, and the Dog Man is an Aboriginal version.
Okay, so the Dog Man they're saying is an Aboriginal version. And Fairy's saying a Wendigo is a Native American one. So there's different forms, but like Sula said before, they're all basically the same. It's just what your belief system is.
Correct. But it's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. My last question. Do you believe cats can protect you?
Yes.
I've got 4 cats.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd have more if I could.
No, because I was wondering, people said if you've got a cat in your home, you're pretty safe. Is that true?
No. It doesn't mean that you're safe because you've got a cat. No, spirits aren't scared of
It's
it.
like the gin. She goes like, well, we talked. It's like the gin. You got to believe.
K2 meter. So if a spirit comes through, they like a K2 meter will go beep beep beep. A cat will hiss and it goes up and it gets all, and it's a warning that something that shouldn't be there is there. That's what cats do.
Okay.
It doesn't keep spirit away.
Flick says, I've got 2 cats. And she says, it's like the gin, like people believe in the gin. So we need to believe in the gin that it's going to come out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I've got 4 cats. So I've got 4 little alarms there. If
Has anybody else got any questions? Cats, dogs like me.
Yeah.
Cats don't
Don't
like
like
her.
me.
Don't like her, yeah.
Oh, look.
Different spirits, yeah.
Not everybody
Yeah.
animal, so I wouldn't take that as anything.
Yeah. You know, my son's allergic to cats, and the first thing happens to him if he comes here is they all like him all of a sudden, and they're around him and want to jump on him and get their hair up his nose. I think they know. So
Yeah, there's a question coming through. There you go. Here's a question for you. Do you think sage not work as well lately?
Sorry,
do you think the sage is not working as well lately?
Yes, I do think that. When I do cleansings, I don't use just sage. I use a combination of things. So it makes it stronger and it makes the intent of what and my words stronger. So sage alone at the moment for me is not
the question.
So I will incorporate frankincense, myrrh, rue, various other things depending on the situation. It's like a bomb.
Top. This is from one of your friends from your page.
Beck. She wanted to know if you think your house is haunted after you posted that video on social media.
Yeah, look, when we do what we do, and especially with the kind of cases that we take on, it does happen from time to time that we have things that come to our homes. They attach to us. But that doesn't mean they stay with us, Beck. They go because we know how to get they don't stick around. Anything sinister? No. Like I said, we do what we do and we take on pretty serious cases. So it's inevitable that we will have something at some point, no matter how much we protect ourselves, follow us and then they leave, or they'll follow us and try to attach, but they don't stick around for that long. We make sure that doesn't happen.
Okay. I was wondering too about incense sticks. Are they effective at all? Like when you burn incense, if you don't have the dried sage, if you use like white sage incense or frankincense incense, do they work it or not?
Well, look, they do, but they're not as powerful as the organic product. I mean, that incense has been grounded down and mixed with other stuff to stick it on a stick. So the organic thing is much more powerful.
And what's your thoughts on the salt? Because I use salt in the Bible when I do house cleansing. Do you feel that's effective?
Yeah, I use salt too.
What if it can be moved? What if it can't be moved?
What if it can't be moved on? What happens?
Is that Beck?
No,
Flick.
Oh. If it can't be moved, what we need to do is a deliverance on the house. And with that deliverance, if that doesn't work, then obviously I need to get an exorcist in my house. But that is not the case. So that's not going to happen.
Can crystals protect you?
Yeah. So Jeff wanted to know, can crystals protect you?
If it is something that you believe in and you put your intention in them, yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, myself, my pet.
Sorry, he's starting to read them when they come up and you're still talking. There's like a 2-minute delay. So I'm sorry if we seem rude. So I just wanted to apologize.
No, I just protect myself and my pets. That won't hurt my bird.
Yeah. Won't hurt your birds. That's basically it for the interview, Sula. So
If anybody's got any
questions, you want to talk about anything,
yeah,
you want to promote anything, yeah,
take it away. Tell everybody
and thank
what
you
your
so much
and everything is
for being our guest tonight.
Oh,
and
having me.
special thank you for always helping us too. Just want to let the people know that when we do have cases we're not sure of, Sula and another lady are people that we always turn to get advice from and help, because you're always learning in the paranormal field. So I'm never going to turn around and say I know everything. I don't know everything. And when I feel that I don't know something, I will turn to people that do know more than me. And one of them is Sula. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah. Have you had we got a question for you just come up. I'll just bring it up to the TV. Have you had a black or...
I have had a block of tourmaline shatter from just sitting at the door. It's a crystal grid, in a crystal grid.
All right. One, I'd need to know how long have you had that crystal grid there for, and how often do you cleanse it? And two, how big is it, and has there anything been happening in your home?
There you go. You can answer the question. She's right here for you. Give you a chance.
I found with crystals too, they choose you, and then if they've run out of energy, they tend to just disappear or they go back to the earth. And sometimes I've felt it wasn't for me. I've given it to someone else.
It's been every full moon. So how long have you had it for? Like the size and stuff?
And what was it put there for? Was it put there for protection or?
Yeah, it's coming up now.
Okay. Cleanse them all in the bay, then leave them out to recharge, obviously by the moon.
Okay, so
put there for protection.
It was put there for protection.
For protection. Okay. One, it would have, like I said, I'd need to know the history behind everything for me to understand why you'd have a tourmaline piece, which is meant to be grounding and protection from negative energies, shatter on you. So did you have any paranormal situations going on beforehand? Have you suffered any trauma? Have you had someone enter your home just before that happened? There's various questions that I've got to ask you to understand how that could have happened. So for tourmaline to burst, either a very negative energy has passed through it, or it's done its job and it now needs to be replaced. Then it could be anything. You need to know the history behind it all before you can say, oh, that's why. Otherwise, you're just guessing.
All the time, Sula. That's what they said.
All the time, Sula.
Could something...
yeah.
There's a question coming up.
Could something need to get out rather than in?
Need to get out?
Like a spirit need. Could it be something that like a spirit needs to leave more than it coming in?
No, it wouldn't shatter black tourmaline. No.
I threw it away and replaced it. Its roof.
Yeah, she threw it away and replaced it.
Okay. And it's okay? Everything's all right? Any activity in the house?
This is a question about black cats. Are black cats more susceptible to evil spirits attacking them?
No.
That's just...
I think that goes back to the superstition of the number 13 and black cats. And I actually like black cats. We've got a black cat.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter.
They're
what
beautiful.
Color, it's physiology and everything else is exactly the same as any other cat. So, yeah.
Jeff has a question. Okay. What would you like to ask, mate?
You can ask anything, Jeff. Don't be shy.
This is the opportunity to talk, and Jin is just a terrific.
Yeah. He could be just a cat with anxiety, Balana.
Yeah.
Yes. What's your question, mate?
Ready.
Wait for it to come up. It's in the chat. I didn't
It's
see
in the
it.
chat. Sorry, we might have missed it. Maybe have a look at your phone.
What's the?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I just found it.
Sorry. Apologies.
Because it's moving up so quick. I didn't see it.
There's a bit of a delay happening too. Raven, what's the scariest experience you've had? Only if you feel comfortable. So.
All I can say to you was the demonic experience, and I really do not want to discuss that tonight.
Yeah, no,
Not
that's
tonight,
fair
anyway.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It wasn't a nice experience.
I do believe in.
I do, Rufy again. I do believe it was a certain spirit that had been trying to get my attention gone now, told it that it didn't belong here and it needed to leave, and said the Lord's Prayer.
Okay, that's great. If it's gone, that's fantastic. It's probably what needed to happen. But if it does come back or you feel something again, it probably means you have a spirit that is stuck there and needs help crossing over. So you don't need to be, normally when we stand our ground with spirits that we want to get rid of from our home.
I will keep an eye out until I need to go to bed to get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, my heart goes to you, Fairy. I had to get up at 5 this morning. That's why I look so glam.
Got to get a hairdresser. Probably they're all shut.
I've been working all weekend, so I can relate. So, look, when this video is finished, we have it up on our channel anyway. Yes, so if you need to go to sleep, do so, and you can always watch what you missed out on.
Yeah, she goes, yes, I deal with them often.
Ruthie said, yes, I deal with them often.
Always Jan. G-L-A-N. Funny, Jay.
Always glam. Thank you, Fairy.
Jason, funny, Jay.
And Flick thinks I'm hilarious. I
will.
Good on you. You can watch it tomorrow. It'll be uplifted. So,
yeah. So has anybody else got any question for Sula that gives you a chance to understand if you might have the same kind of sense of what Sula's doing? This is your chance to ask these kind of questions to see are you on the same page, like lines of herself. The hairdresser part.
It looks belly-hinged because I did have foils that grew out, and I haven't had a chance to go to a hairdresser because every time I bloody do, it's locked down. So I'm not going anywhere. So,
yeah.
But they say it's fashion now.
Do you think there is much looking for demons today? Who asked that one? Oh, there was coming up.
Mary wanted to say thank you for your answers today.
Do you think there's much looking for demons today?
Do you think there is too much looking for demons? Like, Fairy, I wonder if you mean like everybody's like looking for demonic cases or thinking everything's demonic. Do you think there's too much focus on that sort or not enough?
No way, I'm not touching that hair.
Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people seem to think when something's happening in their home or they get touched or pushed or tugged that it's demonic. It's only because people aren't educated enough to understand what demonic means that they assume that. But that's okay. That's why there's people like you guys and me to help them out, that they can reach out to, that we can help them with. And, no, not everything is demonic. Demonic situations are far and few between. So, yeah.
Feels like a caption dropping word. Signing off for now.
Ruthie says she's signing off for now, and thank you, Sula. Well, good night, Ruthie. Have a lovely night, and thank you so much for coming on the channel tonight.
I totally agree.
Fairy agrees. Yeah, I think most people are going. So
Yeah, we've still got 11 viewers there still.
really,
Yeah.
oh, don't be shy. Come and ask questions.
Yeah, come and ask questions. This is a chance to ask these kind of questions if you're not sure about the bad side of the spirit side, though. This is your good opportunity for you guys to ask.
And I'm coughing not because I've got COVID. I know I'm in a COVID Sydney, but I'm one of those unlucky devils that has to have a test every 72 hours to go to work. So I definitely don't have it. It keeps coming back as negative. I've got a smoker's cough and I'm getting over a normal flu. So, but yeah, it's up here compulsory that I have to have one every 72 hours to go to work.
Horrible.
It is horrible because it's not a pleasant test.
No.
It's really not nice at all to have a bloody thing this long stuck up your nose.
Okay.
He laughs, but I can't wait for him to have one.
You'll be looking like a little girl, Jason?
Nah.
I had a flu shot. I had a normal flu shot. My doctor convinced me over 50 should have a normal flu
last
shot.
week, and I'm waiting.
I'll end up getting the flu.
Yeah.
And so I'll end up having a week off work.
I am
2 tests. And now, because of the extension of the lockdown, because we're in a certain suburb, because we're in that larger, greater area, whatever it is, now I have to have it every 72 hours or I can't go to work. And I have to show my results before I go to work.
Wow. Okay. Like
So
I
it's
said, started on COVID.
Just to make sure I'm COVID free and I'm not going to inflict it on anyone. So
here we go. Got a question. I'll just bring it up.
Do you feel the energy around at the moment feeds spirits and demons more than before COVID?
Absolutely. Everybody's energy is lower than it's ever been. You know, this is the way that COVID has changed and shifted the energy and it's all because the way that we have changed. Our living has changed. Our mental health has changed. So yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Has anybody else got any other questions? It's a good opportunity.
Yeah, and just want to say thank you all for watching.
And don't forget to like, subscribe to both channels and share it.
We're going to have Sula's link on afterwards. Jason Ghost Hunter has a Facebook page. Look out for that with the links also.
So there was Eve
and if anyone in Victoria would like to do one of those tours in the future or go and visit the expos that are coming up, go to the links and go to her Facebook page or website so you can get the tickets or, find out information about them.
There you go.
I really like the Dancing with the Ghosts idea. I reckon that's cool.
I
love it. I want to do Dancing with the Ghosts.
On down.
So the veil is thinner now. So is the veil thinner?
Yes. The lower the vibration, the thinner the veil. So that's absolutely correct.
What's your thoughts on 3 a.m. in the morning? Is it a myth or is it a spookier time? I know we did a 3 a.m. challenge and when we had a nasty
Me too,
experience.
dancing with the
I reckon I want to do that. It sounds so excellent. But
me too, dancing with ghosts.
Do you think 3 a.m.'s like an evil time, witching hour type thing?
Yeah, look, historically and in folklore, it is the witching hour. But at the end of the day, spirit communication or activity happens anytime. Anytime. I think we sense it more at 3 a.m. or the energy of things because we are quiet. Our body is lower than it normally is during the day. Our brains are busy during the day. There's noise all around us, all that kind of stuff. So, after 12 o'clock, let's say, or 1 o'clock, when everything's quiet, you can sense more, you can feel more. That's why you feel that. So I'm not that convinced on the 3 a.m. witching hour thing. but it's the same.
Good question for you. Some people say it's better to investigate at night time because of quietness, but is it true? There's no time period for them on the other side.
No, there is no time period. They don't know time. And it's not just about that. If they're haunting a place, they don't just come out at night time to haunt. The only reason that we as investigators do it at night is because of what I just sort of said before. It's because of all the activity that we humans do during the day. At night time, everyone's in their homes. Majority of people are asleep. So therefore, everything is quiet. So therefore, if there's a whisper, a soft tap, something like that, you'll pick it up. Where if there's noise, it's contaminated. That's really why we do it. So there's no contamination.
I feel them around sunset.
You put your lungs out.
I know.
Now, I'm due for a smoke. That's what it is.
It's his body's alarm clock.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I've investigated places during the day, and I'm happy to do daytime videos as well as night. Daytime, you've got like people walking around, you've got noises, like more likely to have a car driving past or something going on, so you don't get the little sounds like Sula said. Nighttime, even though it's good visually for people, but you're more able to pick up things, and it's better to photograph at night. That's probably why a lot of people choose night, but I've gone to places and found just as much activity during the day and as well as night. So
that's right. And you know, photographic captures and video captures can be captured during the day as well. They don't have to be at night. Like you said, it's just all the noise contamination, neighbors talking, cars driving by, kids walking by, whatever. You don't want that. It'll really stuff up your investigation. So it's the only reason so late. Yeah.
With your EVPs, have you ever been told off by a spirit?
Oh, thanks, Brianna. Have to.
I've been called a C. I've been called an evil woman. I've been told to piss off and get out. But that's okay. You know, it comes with the territory. So, you know.
Yeah, I wonder why so many cemeteries, you see so many videos that all the ghosts are always like, get out. Like, what if you're just there visiting someone? So, you know.
Well, this is true. So that might be one of the nasty buggers that passed away and is being, you know, a grumpy bum. We don't know. So, you know, everything's really theoretical if you think about it. It's all theory.
I remember going to an Italian vault, one of those Catholic vaults, and a lot of the people in there were Italian or Lebanese or something like that. And I know a bit of Italian because I used to look after an Italian lady. And I remember walking around and I thought, I'll speak Italian because they might respond to that. Do you know how many times I got told to F off on my EVP? I'm like, you know, going, buongiorno, and being nice and everything. And they're like, fuck off.
I'm probably talking to me in my language.
And that's really bad Italian too. You offended me. So
Well, they might not have been Italian and thought you were swearing at them.
Maybe. But I have had people come through EVP in different languages, you know. The most unusual one we've had was Gaelic. We didn't know. The only reason we knew it was Gaelic because we had an Irishman come up and ask what we were doing. And we were actually in an old convict section, which was interesting. And he listened to it and he goes, they're talking Gaelic. They're telling me to go home and have a drink tonight. I think I might. It was hilarious.
Well, we had a at a home and we kind of worked out what the place was beforehand, but we picked up French because we were hearing all this stuff and we're thinking, is that gibberish? Is it playing up? But then we looked it up and put in what we heard on the language translator and it was French. And we thought it wasn't, it was French. So we had French.
The most unusual voice we've had, and I'm going to have to send it to you. I'm going to get Jason to look it up.
Find it.
I did a blessing of a house with my salt and my Bible, how I always do, and call on Archangel Michael. But after my prayer, because he had the EVP recorder going, it picked up like almost a metallic sounding voice. It didn't sound human.
Mhm.
It sounded metallic, and it sounded like they were, I don't know, saying something in a different, maybe Latin language. But it wasn't like it was almost like they were helping me. You know what I mean? The sound.
Well, what you can do is repeat it into Google Language Translator, and it'll actually, if it is another language, it will bring up what language it is and how it's spelt properly and what it means.
Okay, I'll do that.
That.
But I'll send it to you, see if you've recognised that voice. Because we both listened to it. It's only like for a couple of seconds.
Yeah.
And it's right after I speak. But like I'm used to the EVPs with human voices.
Yeah.
But this one sounded metallic almost like how would you say it? I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. And we just went, whoa, I wonder if that was one of the angels, because I called them down and was blessing. They were actually praying with me to remove whatever it was from the house.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's a theory that when you hear metallic voices, when it comes through across like that, but it is a language or someone is actually speaking to you, that it's a different energy level or energy form.
Yeah.
It's a theory, but it could be a different form. Yeah.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll get him to find it and he can send it to you and you can tell me what you think about it. And I'll try and get it in Google Translator.
No problem. Yes, give it a crack. It works.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But we were interested because we'd never heard that kind of voice before.
It's like that weird photo of the gnome I caught sitting on top of remember how we were at the graveyard? I caught that little pointy-headed hat guy.
Oh, yeah, because I'm all about the fae. And once we were in a cemetery and we swear we got a picture of a little elf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Is that like the one on your phone? Dark photo? No. This one was an investigation we did somewhere, and look, I felt it was more of a negative type person, and actually when we got there I had this urge because it was like in a unit, but it backed onto like this dirty creek river, and that river itself, when I looked up the history, it had bodies floating in it. It wasn't in a great area, so probably attracted negative energy. And I said to Jace before we go, I need to go to this water. And anyway, when we were staring at the water, it started bubbling up real weird. Like we were thinking, is that eels, or because it was nighttime? Anyway, something pushed him and he nearly fell in it, and I grabbed him. And then we went and did the investigation. And then what happened, we went back to this water because I had the shits by then. And I grabbed a handful of salt and I said my prayer and I threw it in the water, and we had the EVP going, and it said it burns, and it was screaming. It was really weird. Oh, yeah, ages ago. I know what you mean, Flick. Do you know when you talk on the phone and suddenly you get this?
Oh, yeah, that interruption, when sometimes you get like that sort of like tinning. Wasn't like that. It was similar, but not as metallic as that. It was soft. It was a soft tinning.
Yeah, it's a different frequency. So yeah, well, I'll have a listen to it and see what I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You can put it through software to slow it down. What we do is slow it down, amplify it, see if we can understand it, put it through Google Translate. If we still can't get anything, we'll play it backwards. Sometimes there's a message in it backwards. Different ways you can play with it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be interested to see what you think.
Yeah.
Because I might think it's actually something nice. Wouldn't I be devastated if it was something nasty? Oh, fuck you. And I was thinking, I like that nice tinny voice, and it turned out to be shit. So, but I'd be interested.
Why you got something?
So has anybody else got any other questions? This is a good opportunity, as I say. The person who we are talking to does the dark side of the ghost hunting. That also helps me and Julie when we are going into something that we don't understand. So we do go to Sula here. She's on the hit list. She sees that phone ring and I text and and she's always the one that does a lot of help for us. So this is your good opportunity to ask these kind of questions towards her for yourself, if you do have any questions.
And I can say, knowing Sula, she's got a heart of gold. You're always helping people, and you're quite a busy lady yourself. So I hold my hat up to you.
Thank you very much. And I'm very proud of our industry, apart from some of the heads around. But other than that, we all hold each other up, and we're there to learn from each other and help people.
That's it.
Yep. And that's what this channel's about too, because it's not about just having a special guest. It's about having people know who they are and how they can link up to their pages and channels. It's about working as a team. So each week we'll try and have a new team so they can shine too. This is what we want to do. This is our little way of showing para unity, I guess. So
absolutely. And also, guys, if you go on the Paranormal Adventures website, you will see we have a little tag that says associates. They're people that we have in different states that I associate with and I have confidence in. That if you happen to be in New South Wales, you don't know who to look up, you can jump on associates and you'll see these two guys there as well. You can click on their links because your links are up there, guys. And I add them as I go along. Look, sometimes we end up having, people that aren't the real thing and they're fake. They get taken off and they're replaced with the real deal. So we're there to help.
Blana was just saying, Sula, you have to be a good person to want to help people like you do. I can 100% guarantee Sula is a beautiful soul. All I can say is, from everything that you've experienced to who you are today, you might even be one of those, what do they call them, those angels that have,
Look,
no, I don't mean just an angel, but incarnated angel. And this could be your path. So,
well, look, the same thing that you do, the same thing that Jane in SA does, and everybody else, Bill and Amanda, we all do the same thing. So at the end of the day, we're just people who have been through things, who understand it, and who better to help people going through the same things, the ones that have gone through it and understand it and know how to fix it. Well, learning more and can help somebody. We owe it to ourselves and we owe it to the world. So
since we've got a few viewers, I want you to promote your next Ghost Adventure thing for your conference and all that. We're going to go a few viewers. I want you to advertise that again. So if anybody wants to come down and check it out, what they can see the dates and if they want to come down and check it out for sure.
Yeah, well, I think I said it before. We've got the Australian Paranormal Conference and Expo happening March 26th next year. So we'll have people that hopefully can travel from all over Australia. So you've got paranormal people, teams, individuals. You've got psychic mediums. You've got the metaphysical. You've got the spiritual. You've got the healing side of it all there together. And it's a good place where people can come and meet various people. Because at the end of the day, you may speak to me, it may not click with me, but you may click with the other paranormal team that's there, that it's in Victoria and closest to you maybe, and you can get some help. So if people don't know that we exist, they don't know who to go to. They don't know who the right people are to go to. So This is why we do what we do, and this is why, and it's part of unity within the field to be able to assist people that go through this stuff. So jump on the website. I haven't put it up yet. The tickets haven't gone up yet, but they will be in the next 2 or 3 weeks. But that's the event. And also we do the smaller one, which we're going to do in November at the Maryborough train station.
And I reckon that's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm definitely looking up Dancing with the Ghosts because it sounds so cool.
I think it's October 5th or 6th. I'm not sure.
That'll be cool.
And then,
well, hopefully it's lifted because I've had to cancel all my leave. So I told my boss I'm keeping it for a rainy day, or a better day. So if it's lifted, guess what? I'm booking one and I'm coming down. I want to dance with these ghosts.
And I think I know where I'm staying too. It's going to be my sister's house, I believe.
I was going to ask a quick question. I forgot what it was now.
What's it got to do with?
I don't know.
Think
I
she's
don't know.
here.
I forgot what I was going to ask.
Ask me, Dace.
Must have been a lie.
I'm going to point this TV. I'll be
That's
back
what
in
my
about
mum
30
and dad
seconds.
used to say. If I forgot what I was going to ask, they'd say it must have been a lie.
Oh,
But it
true.
definitely wasn't a lie. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Do you think people are destined to be demonologists such as yourself? Do you think
Look,
you were destined to be what?
I believe that people have a calling. Everybody has a calling. There's a reason why you're here, and we all have a purpose. So if in your lifetime these are the things constantly have been pushing you towards the paranormal for whatever reason, and then you get to a certain point and then you start doing this and you keep doing this and it fulfills you as a person, your calling. So yes, when you're younger, it's a series of events that happen as you're growing up and getting into teenage years and your adulthood and all of that will push you towards what your true calling is. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't pay attention to that. So they miss out on what their true calling is. They're not happy in what they're doing. They're not happy in their lives. So sometimes we need to step back and go, you know, what's been happening in my life? Where have I been sort of led to? And I just didn't listen and detoured off that. Maybe we need to pull ourselves back and go back down that street again and see what happens. But yeah, I do believe that there are people that, you know, are destined to do that.
Okay. Have you had anyone destined to do that, but they were afraid of it at the same time, but they
Yes.
just couldn't avoid it?
Yes, I'm one of them.
Yeah. I feel that's happened to me a lot too. Like I try to avoid it, but then I keep getting not dragged, but you know what I mean? Keep getting lured to that. And I've had a lot of psychic attack when I was a teenager, and I didn't understand what it was at the time. So I wonder sometimes, even though it freaks the shit out of me.
It does. There's a lot of awful people in the world, and sometimes it can be for the most stupidest thing, and you are psychically attacked. And these people need to understand that what they're doing is not bettering themselves as a person. It's inflating their ego and causing damage, but at some point the universe returns it. So people need to be careful what they throw out there. It does come back.
Be careful what you wish for; it might just come true.
Yeah, it's like a negative energy, a negative, throwing out negative energy comes back like a boomerang. It'll hit you in the head.
Have you met demonologists from different religions?
Yes, I have. And you know what? We get along just fine. We agree on the fact that what I said before, that it's different cultures see the same thing in a different way. So it's all the same thing. We just do, and we pretty much do things the same way. It's just in a different language and we may use different tools. That's all. But, you know, we've had no debates, never had some very interesting conversations.
Jeff wanted to know, Sula, do you use apps in your investigations, the phone app?
No. Axe? Say axe?
The phone apps.
The only
The
one
phone app, like the ghost tube and that.
No, the only one we use is EchoVox, but we turn off all notifications, everything, so it doesn't pick up what we're saying during an investigation.
Given you good evidence?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you're using EchoVox and you've asked a question and you're getting a direct answer, you're having a conversation that's related to what you're saying, you know you've got something. If you're not, and you're just getting gibberish or different words that mean nothing, have got nothing to do with what you're asking or the place within itself, then you're getting nothing. It's just the app going through words. So, yeah, be careful.
Balana wanted to know, how did you overcome your fear?
I had no choice.
Sink or swim.
Look, it kept happening that much that I had to understand why, and I had to get help for that, because otherwise it was either going to be I'll be a depressed person on my own, very sickly and maybe dead, or there's something else I'm meant to be doing with this, because they didn't, let's put it this way, what I have seen in my life was not there to hurt me per se. It was there to stop me from something. And I didn't know that until much later on in life. And both through my studies and everything else, and the people that are associated with, the priests that I spoke to, shamans as well, and all of that, I realized that what was happening is they weren't trying to take me over. They weren't trying to possess me. They were trying to stop me from something. And that was my true calling, which is what I do today.
Okay, cool.
So I beat them in that way, and my faith grew stronger.
Felicity, did you get thrown into the tunnel too? Like, you know, I deal with her.
She was making an inside joke with Jace.
Oh,
she's one of Jason's best friends, but she's also a medium.
okay.
So we'll have her one week too. So they just got an inside joke about an investigation they had. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, because she was a little bit scared going in the tunnel, so I just basically threw her in it to overcome the fear.
really nice person, isn't he? No.
Because as you know, spirits feed on fear. So if you don't have fear, then they don't. You got to better. You've got something over them, you know, because you're not showing that fear to them.
Yeah, you show them the fear, and you
in
know,
the closet medium.
No, you're not. She says she's calling herself in the closet medium. I said, never underestimate yourself.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I may need to pack
follow-
extra. Look,
Oh, look. I've got to admit, I've been number one scaredy cat on investigations, but I'd like to think I'm getting stronger and stronger.
Does take time.
Yeah, it's not something you can just do overnight. Have you known of like a evil ghost or a demon actually causing physical harm, like they've gone to hospital or not died, but they've gone to hospital, something, yeah.
Yes,
They've had a heart attack or something.
Yes, I've been part of 3 exorcisms in my lifetime. I'm not an exorcist, so I don't do the exorcist, and I will never proclaim to be one. But I have seen it with my own eyes 3 times, where people have been hospitalized and have had to be exorcised, and it doesn't look like what you see on The Exorcist, but it is very horrifying to watch and to hear what and how a body can bend, and the various things that happen.
Awful. See, in a case like that, if you were helping them and they did have a heart attack and then just, God forbid, they did die, would that entity be successful, or would they just be in limbo?
No, it's successful. It's just taken another soul.
Okay. That's quite frightening, isn't it?
Well, that's their only purpose, is to destroy humanity, mankind.
That's nice. Ghost hunting to get them their turf, not mine. That's what Felicity said.
What?
That's what Felicity. That's how I started ghost
hunting to get them
on their turf, not on mine.
Okay. I think I had a similar story to Sula. Like I said, was one of those children, a bit like that movie, The Sixth Sense, where I'd have people coming in my room and I'd see them, they'd talk to me, they were like as real as you and me. But as a child, because I grew up Catholic, I was terrified of what I was seeing. My dad was a non-believer, absolutely thought I was a loon. And they were actually discussing about me going to a psychiatrist because I just went on and on about it. There was something nasty in our house. No one would believe me. And it wasn't until I moved out with my boyfriend at a young age, because I did it just to get away from whatever it was that was tormenting me. Things happened to my grandma that I was living with. And if anything happened to Dad, I don't think he'd ever admit it was paranormal. But she realised then that I was telling the truth, and then we spoke to neighbours, and things started happening to people that moved into our old home when they moved. And like you, I wanted answers. I wanted to know why I was chosen to be tormented by this thing. And I'm religious and spiritual. I wouldn't say I belong to any one church these days, but I definitely believe in the Creator. I believe in heaven and hell. I believe in yin and yang. But one thing I do about being a paranormal investigator, I'm enjoying the learning. I feel that my mediumship's grown stronger as I get more confident. And, I'm always looking for answers and why I was chosen to do this.
Yeah.
I feel it's like a path, so.
Yeah. And like you said, you can never get away from it. It keeps throwing you back into it. So
Where
you're meant to.
I just give up and roll with the punches. But like you, I want to help people. I want to be a light worker. I want to help anyone on their path, whether it's paranormal or not. And if there's anyone out there like myself or Sula, don't be afraid to reach out for help. That's what we're there for. We have that empathy. We've been through traumatic experiences too. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Great show, Julia, from Flick.
Oh, you're welcome.
Hey, Flick, do you have any more questions? This is your chance because you're
and I'm
similar.
Learning a lot tonight, Sula. Like I'm learning so much, even just asking you those questions, because there's things that I haven't asked you before, but I didn't know anyway. Like it's ending a lot of myths, and I'm really grateful for the information.
That's okay. Look, I don't know everything because I don't. I'm still learning. I am knowledgeable in various areas that I choose, because everybody in the paranormal field is sort of centered into their own little part of that paranormal subject. And obviously my subject is demonology. So what I do know, I will share, because people know. The more that I learn, the more.
This is just my boyfriend. I'm still listening.
That's all I have.
This is Jack.
Hey, Jack.
Jason calls him the scammer. Because
have a sip of my. You've almost had me for 2 hours.
I know. And I'm grateful for you with your time too. And I understand if you've got things to do. So, but I am grateful. Yeah, no. My cat's a scammer because he makes out he actually wanted me, but what he actually wanted was the minky blanket that's next to me, because the fireplace is going. So, because it's a leather couch and it gets cold, but he goes to where the blanket is. So he didn't really want to kiss me. He wanted to go where the blanket was, but he had to get past me to get to it. Do you know our cats even get Uber Eats? We get KFC delivered just for these cats.
Oh my! Oh my!
Hey Jeff, do you have any questions you want to ask Julia? Ask Sula. Like this is, so you got a better understanding on the, much as we do the good, but we do run into the bad ones too. So this is your good opportunity to talk to somebody that's really in that kind of field to understand more about it.
Yeah. I got a scratch from Rookwood the other day. I was a bit cheeky though, because it came through in the app.
It's the black and white cat.
And I said, what do you hate?
What is,
Julia? I said, do you hate this grave? Do you hate the house? What do you hate? Do you hate me? Well, then tell me off. And but do it in this app because I'm recording. And it didn't respond, but I got home and I got a scratch. So
gave your response.
It was a bit of delayed response because I didn't notice it until I went, oh, my arm's burning a little bit. What's going on? So
What do you think people should use to protect themselves? Like, what prayers do you use? So, if anybody wants to like have a prayer, like they might be using, might not be working for them, what kind of prayers do you use to protect yourself before doing an investigation?
Well, I will normally always say the Lord's Prayer. I say the Nisi Creed, and I also have Archangel Michael's Prayer, which I will say. And there's another prayer, which is a much longer prayer, which is to ensure that nothing evil comes, attacks us or anything like that if there's anything there and doesn't come near us. So there's various prayers. And unfortunately, I share all the prayers that I have, whether they're affirmation prayers, spiritual or religious, to people that ask for the help. Because if you don't give it to them, how are they supposed to be able to protect themselves? And I don't care if they share it with somebody else. They're helping them. I don't own the prayers. And there's a lot of people in the field that have their way of doing things but just will not allow others to share it. It's like, well, you're supposed to be helping people. So, yeah, but they're the main prayers that I will use.
And do you do one after the investigation, or you just say thank you?
We say thank you. I, within myself, say my own prayers. Like I said, everybody in my team is different. But what we'll normally do, especially after an episode 1, is we cleanse the house at the end of it. Therefore, we cleanse ourselves as well and the people in the home. So we cleanse before we leave.
Okay. This is probably a silly question, but we said it. Mick asked us before, do you have like a little everyday thing that you do? Like with his team, they meet at Macca's for a quick coffee before an investigation. Do you have anything like that?
Well, it depends. It's usually we meet at my house if it's for an episode, or we meet at Shamrock, Maryborough Railway Station, or Old Gippstown earlier, and we go through things there. If we have to, because COVID's really hard at the moment. We've got 11 people on the team. It is so hard to get everybody in on a Zoom or anything like that. So, unfortunately, we've got to do things a little bit different and make it work. But otherwise, yeah, we love to get together. We have parties. We're a family. And yeah, it is very important before we actually do an episode as well that we sit down, talk about it. We discuss how we're going to film it. We discuss what we're going to ask.
Here's a question for you. I'm just going to bring it up. Look up on the screen. It'll be there in a minute. Should be there next. There's a couple of seconds delay. There it is.
Can black undergarments protect you or white? What about sandalwood soap?
I've never heard anything about black undergarments protecting you. Sandalwood, yes, it's good for protection. And you can buy it in soap. You can buy sage soap. You can buy various types. Yes, it helps, but it doesn't mean it completely 100%, protects you.
Yeah. I think it goes back to the intent.
Always.
So if you believe white clothing is going to protect you, it will. If you believe black, yellow, pink's love, whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And different religions, like people in mourning can wear white or black. So it's kind of like a neutral colour. Depends on what religion or what culture they're from.
Yeah, it all depends. Tradition, all that sort of stuff. But realistically, mourning is an internal thing. It's not an external thing. So when you mourn, all that emotion is through your heart and your mind, which affects the rest of your body and the way that you're feeling and behaving. What you're wearing on the outside.
Too much purple, Felicity said.
Yeah.
I like leaves at the moment. I like bay leaves at the moment.
You like bay leaves?
Yep.
We actually grow sage in our garden.
Fantastic.
We've got sage grow, and it's really flourishing too.
Yeah, there's something else here she just said. Just bringing it up now.
Cool, sandalwood. What about
gems?
Gems. I'm a Leo, not experienced or knowledgeable.
What about gems?
Like gemstones,
Again, it comes down to the intent, knowing which gemstone you're using for what purpose. Every stone or crystal has its own energy properties. So for instance, if you're looking for grounding and protection from negative energies, you use tourmaline, more in the black colors. Blue lapis is a protection as well. Amethyst is a protection, but it's also mystical, so it helps you with your third eye as well. So if you're wondering what's going to help you, just look up whatever it is you need help with from a crystal, and it'll come up, and you'll know. Or you can go to the places where they sell them, and they're able to tell you and help you.
Do you find activity is greater or lesser in the full moon?
Greater.
Greater? Well, I must go out. It's full moon at the moment. No, I just wondered if, because I know it affects us as people.
Yes.
Working as years as a nurse and knowing some people in the police force and that, I've heard stories about full moon and weird phone calls, and I've noticed it affects my mental health clients. But I just wondered if it affected the afterlife too. It was just
it
probably
everything, because they're still here in the earth plane, even though they live in it as a separate energy. They're still on the earth plane. So therefore, whatever's energies around the earth, gravity, the pull, all of that sort of stuff, it affects us, it'll affect them.
okay.
So that
Cool.
makes sense of not emotionally, but activity we're talking about, where we can sense more and they can do more. It's a theory, but yeah, that's what's said.
Okay. It's interesting. What about fog? Because it's water condensation. Does that increase energy?
Yes and no. That's really, it's different to water. It's not the same as a lot of water that flows or that's still. I wouldn't say so, but at the same time, I haven't experimented. Say yes or no, 100%.
A few days after.
We'll just put it up so I can read it.
Yeah. Can some people...
A few days before and a few days after for me. I sleep good only on full moon. I find I'm very moody on full moon, and I'm quick for an argument on full moon. So Jason treads lightly those 4 days. And I've noticed I've got a lady with mental health in the house that I work in, and it can be a few days before or after, but she'll have really horrible behaviours. It's usually when she's likely to be violent. So.
Yep, there in a couple of seconds. There we go. Have you seen a...
Ectoplasm?
Ectoplasm, yes. We've caught them on camera. We've got them on our website. We've got photos that we put up. We do catch them, yes. And they don't happen very often. But, yeah, they're around. It's another form of energy.
Okay.
And Jeff works as a emergency and mental health.
He works in health, busiest time in emergency and mental health. I've got to agree. I've been over 30 years now working as a nurse, and lately, the last few years, I've been in disability only because it's less stressful for me, but many years working in the health sector, so I can relate to the busy times I worked in emergency too. So,
yep.
And I have a lot of mental health in the family, so it's never boring. So,
well, mental health is everywhere at the moment, so we're all in that circus.
This is a good question. Like a lot of people for who start out the paranormal.
I'm going to duck out for 5 minutes, guy. 2 hours is my limit for fresh air.
People say with electricity and water, does that help the spirits to do more, or what do you think?
Okay. Well, as we said before, water gives them more energy. And then when we worked and you see your equipment drain, right, electric current goes to the battery. Lights, there's electric current going through that. So, yes, they draw on that energy to give them more energy, for them to manifest or to be able to speak or to say something. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So you wouldn't want to live too close to electric plant beside you, like a plant, you know, all the powers, you wouldn't want to live that close to one because you know you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
I'd be feeling very sorry for anyone living next door to something like that with running water and ley lines under their house. I'd be like, get out of there, because you're going to think
Hey, that's a paranormal's dream, isn't it? Like having all that right beside you, and you just went out your house for tours.
If it's happening for real, yeah. But if it's just, you know, an LSD trip, naturally, because of everything else, no. No.
So does anybody else got any questions for Sula? Like, it might be a dumb question. Doesn't in the paranormal world, there's no such thing as a dumb question, as a lot of people would know. This is a good opportunity. Felicity, do you got any more questions that you like to ask?
I've got a question. Can Sula go and have a coffee now?
All right, well, we'll let you go then. And
thank
you very much for being on our show. And we do appreciate that.
Thank you.
And when you go, we might just be able to add anybody we like for a normal chat. So, again, from me and Julia, thank you very much for everything and talking here. And, yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. And we'll talk soon again. And as I say, like, we'll probably have free for all chat next. And so anybody who like to come on and have a chat, they will welcome to. And don't forget, like and subscribe to Sula's channel, like the videos and comment and show all the love. Jeff said, thanks, Julia. No, thanks, Sula. So, yeah, don't forget, everybody, look her up. And she's got a lot of great places down there to investigate also. So, yeah, definitely keep in touch.
Thank you.
See you soon, Sula.
Bye, darling.
Okay. Does you just got to log right out, Sula? Yeah, she goes. No, yep, she's gone. So if anybody else like to come on board and have a chat, I'll just copy something for you. Yeah, come aboard. I hope everybody learned a lot from Sula, because she does with all the bad spirits. So this is a good, you know, she's very full of information. You got any questions towards her, don't hesitate to go to her site and websites and talk to her. So yes, just get rid of that. So if anybody here would like to have a chat and come on board, I'll put a link up here. If you click on that link, it will bring you into the room, and you just got to shut down YouTube and just click on that link when you clicked on it, and yeah, you're welcome to come aboard and have a chat with all of us.
Yeah.
So what's going now?
Oh,
we have. So yeah, click on the link, guys, and come up and have a chat. Chat about anything and everything. And thanks, Beck. Great to have you there too. And thank you very much for hanging in there and having a chat. You're welcome to come on board and have a chat too. So, yeah, anybody can click on that link there and you want to have a chat about anything and everything. Doesn't matter. Football, doesn't matter. Anything. Yeah, I'll just wait for it. Just seen a question come up. Great show. Does that mean not on YouTube then? No, she does have a YouTube page, Flick. If you look it up, you'll see it. She does have a YouTube page. She puts up a lot of evidence there. She's got a Facebook page too. And yeah, she's got everything there for you. Oh, thanks, mate. So yeah, anybody can click on a link. If you've got somebody here, go and bring them on.
Hello.
Has to be. Yeah, man, it's your sister. And if anybody else wants to get on board, just let us know. And there's your sis.
Yeah, I'm
Just
back
don't
now.
mention electricity, please. We had a 5-minute blackout, okay?
We actually had a blackout in the street, and like I said, the last investigation we had
Oh, the
was
link.
insane.
What I'll do is I'll get the link and I'll post it on I'll post it to you. I'll flick, okay?
Yeah,
So
we will. We'll give you the link, and you can get onto a website and her Facebook page. And, make a trip to Victoria if you can, because she's got amazing tours there. And hopefully we'll be at the Expo next March, but if we're stuck in Sydney, we'll be with them in spirit.
Hey, Jeff,
send their love.
how about you click on the link, Jeff, and come on board and say hello. So we will all say hello to you. We've watched all your YouTubes, incredible. So click on that link, mate, and come on up.
Yeah.
How did these guys meet
so
Sula?
the last investigation was insane, Balana. Like, the lights were going on and off, and we didn't notice until after we filmed that our night vision camera was going on and off also.
That
really
was
weird.
how do we meet Sula?
It still smells like sulfur here.
We met her through a friend of a friend. And then she invited us to her expo in 2019, which we went to, her first one in Victoria. And we also have had investigations where we weren't sure if it was demonic or just a lower entity, and we've asked for her help, which she's happily helped, and we've learnt a lot through her, and she's still there as a helping hand if we need it, because not all cases, like I said, we're expertised in, and we will get the help of demonologists such as Sula. We also get the help of a lady in Adelaide as well, who will be another guest on this channel. But yeah, so Sula and I just clicked. We have a lot in common, and like I said, we're very grateful for her time and her help, and she's just a beautiful soul. So we're very lucky to have her as a friend.
Yeah, so that's how we met her. We met her down at Expo, and we went down, and we clicked straight away, and that's how we met her. And we've been friends for that since then. And we're always talking to each other all the time. So Sula's a really good person. If you got questions, you're not sure about something,
and she's very dedicated. She's very dedicated. She does a lot of research. And a lot of the stuff she's known is from years and years and years of researching, and so she's a very knowledgeable person in her field. So
I think by the time I leave this house, I'll probably be knowledgeable in the field too.
I'm at a Bendigo Expo. She offered me a job. Oh, excellent.
Awesome.
Flickering lights again.
Hey, Beck, would you like to jump on and come and say hello too?
But when you use those apps that you were using, always say a prayer to cleanse the house.
Hey, Beck, just click on that and I'll bring you up so we can have a chat with you too, mate.
Because those apps can be used as a portal. They can come through them. It's electricity.
Well, this Ray can bugger off. I don't like
it.
You
know what I mean.
Like every August without fail. I can't get through August without something happening.
But that's your birthday month, or
No.
Thursday. I know your birthday's this week. Everybody say happy birthday to Balana. I'm going to throw you under the bus.
Okay, I did that to you. Okay. Nados do. I got you on that, so okay. I'm not going red.
Expect a surprise delivery this week.
Why is my yellow shirt making me look more red? Actually, this shirt, I got it for my birthday, actually. More than
cool.
So, Beck, Jeff, you can all jump on if you want, and we'll all have a chat.
More than happy to talk to you.
I can still smell sulfur.
Is there a factory nearby?
No. It's like that copper kind of sulfur smells horrible. Ugh.
You had rain, didn't you? It could be your soil because a lot of the soil in South Australia got a lot of copper in it.
Oh, not that strong, not that strong. Like, this is enough to burn my eyeballs.
I'll send you some stuff.
I might just have to like soak myself in sandalwood and like just
Yeah,
leave
I'll
the
send you
house.
some stuff to do. You got salt in the cupboard?
No. Because I'm not allowed
Get
to
some
eat salt
table
because of
salt.
my kidneys.
No, buy some table salt. I'll show you what to do with it.
I don't buy salt because of my kidneys.
Yeah, well, buy it. You don't need to eat it. You can use it for cleansing. So I use salt and I use the Bible. That's how I cleansed houses for a long time. It was taught to me by a medium in the spiritualist churches when I had a case of haunting in my own home when my children were smaller, and it was affecting all of us. So I was taught how to do that, and I've used it for other houses, and I've never failed. It's never failed. So
I'm wondering if the reason I've noticed something is because I've been home more, obviously, since the pandemic.
but you're also dabbling into it a lot more. So you're opening up your channels.
And I'm also not high as a kite anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm more
Different
aware
story.
when I'm at home. Like, I'm in the building more often, so it's going to happen.
No worries. Does anyone else on this channel want to talk?
Yeah. You're welcome to jump on that link there. Just click on it, and it'll bring you up, and we can all have a chat. Here comes somebody. This is Beck. Okay, I just got to fix this up. Here she is.
Hi,
G'day.
Beck. How are you?
If I turn the camera off for about 5
Hello.
minutes, don't panic, because I've got a doctor coming at some point.
It's all good.
Yeah, just jump off, then come back.
Yeah. I don't know when they're going to turn up. I just hope soon, really.
Just jump off, and then later on come back.
Yeah. It could be like, I don't know, it could still be a few more hours, though.
Yeah. No,
You
it's
never know.
okay.
So,
Just jump off when you need to. So, Beck, welcome.
Thanks.
No worries.
Are you back? Hello, Ben.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
What do you want to know? I'm an empath, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Ugh, I just put soy sauce on my coffee rug.
Yeah, I've been an empath my whole life. It's
Yep.
started seeing things when my older brother died when I was about 11. Yeah, just interested, just watching different people, different YouTube videos, getting interested in sort of, going to like, the Expo, the one in Bendigo. I went to like the body, what was it called? The Body, Mind and Spirit Festival, I think it's called. They tour around Victoria every so often. So yeah, just getting into it and trying to learn to accept it and be more open about it.
Well, welcome aboard. And like I said, we're all just one big family. So, you're more than welcome to chat to us anytime or ask us any questions so.
Thanks.
I'm more
Yeah.
ghost curious because I've seen and heard things that you just can't deny.
Yeah.
It always starts like that, doesn't it?
It does, and then like me and Julia, like we've been in this industry for over, but between the both of us, it put 40 years between the both of us. But I've been in over 20 years. Julie's clocking up, as much as I have been, and like been in places and seen stuff that make a lot of people run, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. With Jace, he became a medium after his brother died. He started seeing his brother. He thought he was going nuts at first. And then he decided to just go with the flow one night and communicate with his brother, and they chatted about old times. And then his brother said, we've got work to do. And then since then, he's been on a journey as a paranormal investigator. He's had the gift of being able to see and help others. And with myself, I said before, always had this gift as a small child, but growing up in a religious, well, I was brought up by my grandparents, and my grandmother was very religious. I was very frightened of what I had, and fought it for a long time. And then I became more curious to why was I getting this stuff? Why was I being able to see, feel, and hear things that other people couldn't? So this is my journey, I guess. So we're very much alike. I'm also an empath. I'm clairaudient. I can hear them. I used to see them when I was younger, but because I was so frightened, I think I blocked that channel, so I don't see them. I do get flashes every now and then. I can see someone there, or I've had a few cases where I've seen an apparition, but it's not all the time like it used to be. And I think I've kind of blocked it for my own protection because it used to scare me.
Can it be
That's
almost
fair
like
enough.
when you're walking past the building, you feel like somebody's like looking through the window, and then you go to look and there's like no one there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a sense. Everybody's got intuition, and that's what I tell everybody. Like, everybody's got the potential to be a psychic. Everybody's got that in them.
Still
It's
there.
just whether we
No,
open
eyes.
our channel to it or not.
Flick's still there. That's good. Yes, listening.
Well, literally,
So-
I'm looking towards my door because I feel like somebody's actually standing at my door. It's so creepy.
Yeah,
So
I don't think
But
so. I'm
I-
gonna
I-
message you later, sis, with some stuff. Okay.
So, Bev, tell us like what. So you've had it for a very long time. So
Do you want to talk about experiences
Yeah.
that you've had?
I've had a lot. I've got lots and lots of stories.
That's fine.
Yeah, take your pick, from seeing my brother and my older brother who died, talking to him, you know. I've spoken to quite a few spirits, helped some moved on. Got some amazing stories from moving spirits on. That has been, you know, a really interesting experience for me. I don't actually, you know, move them on. I have help from the other side, because it's not, you know, as far as I'm personally concerned, I don't believe it's my place to, as part of the Lord of the Living, to move the spirits on. I can help, but in the end, it's, you know, beyond my I think scope of abilities and of power, I think. But some of the one of the more memorable ones was definitely a Turkish guy in Gallipoli from World War One, who was reliving the same thing over and over, and he was still in the trenches. He was still there. He still thought the war was going on, and he was still there. He was stuck.
Oh, yeah.
So I managed to, you know, go. I think it's called astro travel. Have you heard of it? Astral travel,
Yep.
or astro travel there, and talk to him and convince him, look, mate, you know, the war's over. It's okay. You can move on now. You know.
Yeah.
And then the angels came, and he said, yep, he understood. He realized that the repetitiveness or repetitive memory, whatever he was living through, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stopped, you know, and the angels came and helped him to move on. That was nice.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. No. Have you had, do you do paranormal investigating yourself, or are you part of a team?
No, I'm based in Melbourne, so I have tried to I did try to become part of one team, but in the end they sort of, what's the word? Carrot on a stick, basically. And in the end, they said no. They said, no, we're not looking for anyone. I was really disappointed, but yeah, not yet. I'm still sort of searching and looking. And, you know, as Sula said, you know, you need to, you know, don't go out on your own, join a team. And I'm still searching for that team that I will fit in with, that I will click with, and that, you know, I can help, because that's all I really want to do. I just want to help. I really want to help both the living and the dead.
Yeah. Well, you can always start your own team too. You know, there's plenty of you know, you can always start yourself a team if you've got like a friend or something that you can recruit with, or even start as a solo person and then add your team as you go along. Yeah.
Where do you start with that? How do you start it? I don't know where to start.
Look, Jason started with a Facebook page. I started with spiritualist churches, going to churches and doing circles to open up my channels, learn how to basically not control my mediumship, but how to, you know, switch it on and off, how to protect myself, all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that you don't know how to do that already. But that's how I started, because I had a different belief system back then. So I had to re-educate myself on what was happening to me was normal. But yeah, you can start a YouTube channel there. We've got a lovely lady that we watch in Adelaide, Ghostly Findings Paranormal, and what she does is go around cemeteries during the day, films herself and has the EVP and some other equipment, and she does great videos, and she's got a lot of followers, so you can even start off something like that. You can, you know, start, and then you get your own followers, you can network, and we network all the time. So we contact other teams and give each other shout outs, or I join their groups, or, you know, attend their expos. I truly believe that each person out there has got a gift to share. I don't believe one's better than the other, because we're all unique. But if you feel that's your calling, I'd say go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. You know, start a channel. We'll watch it. We'll subscribe.
100%.
And we're happy to share it around to whoever.
Thank you very much. I would definitely think about that.
Yeah. Or start a YouTube page up.
Or you can even start off a Facebook page. And if you want to do readings or psychic rescue, promote yourself on Facebook or Instagram. And it can be just as simple as getting people engaged by putting memes up, or, you know, pictures of investigations. I'm not talking about places that you keep confidential, but, you know, a picture of an apparition that you've taken, or orbs, or whatever, to get people to follow your page. And then from there, you know, you can talk to people, invite them into a chat room and say, look, I want to start a team. Is anyone else interested? Do they have any gifts? Make sure they're not charlatans, or, you know, they're out to kind of, there's a lot of people that can say, they want to be part of your team, and then they'll end up getting, you know, used because kind of, you know what I mean? But you can do anything like that. It can be big or small, but always chase your dreams.
Annie, you were trying to say something before?
Yeah.
Sorry, Annie.
How do you share an experience which is so vivid still after like 12 years without traumatizing the crap out of anybody who watches it?
Talk about it. You know, there's a lot of Facebook pages that we're on where people just like to chat about their experiences. I can send you. Just want to chat about their experiences and see if anyone else can relate to what they've gone through.
Yeah. I think that's probably what I need, is somebody who can relate to it. But at the same time, I don't think I want somebody to relate to it.
You just tell it as it is. Just tell it.
Right.
And anyone who's scared of it, or is going to be affected or traumatized, you just warn them and say, look, just so you know, this story might affect some people, or might be a bit traumatizing for some people. And then you tell it, because those who can handle it will listen and understand. That's what I found anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And I'll give you the
some weird things
pages. I'll give you the pages to the in
Sure.
Messenger, Balana, to the
I'm
groups
not
that
on
I
Facebook
chat with.
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't do that. Well, you'll have to just get back on it so I can send you the pages. So there's a lot
I've
of
making
group
you
chats there. Because I have ones that I chat to about reincarnation and stuff like that. It's not everybody's thing, but it's what I'm into. So, you know.
Well, I'm still trying to pinpoint. Like, all I'll say is that night it was either there were like moths, hornets, mosquitoes, and bees all in one, and there was a huge swarm of them following me, and I lost control of my own behavior. Like, I felt like it was controlling my body, which is really weird. So,
Was it? So you can see the questions down here.
like, after 12 years, like, when I think of it, I can still feel them, and I can still like see myself there. So it's so weird.
Yeah, it's not good.
If it makes you feel any better, I've actually had death experiences. I felt other people dying as an empath. I have experienced through first person view, both, you know, through dreams and emotionally, drowning, hanging, bombing by a terrorist attack. So there is. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. It's not nice, but
No.
you know, I hope it makes you feel maybe a little bit better.
And you could be just an empath yourself, Balana, but you haven't realised it yet. That's why you're getting all these experiences. So.
Well, it was about 12 years ago over in Western Australia, like about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It's no good. But going back to chasing your dreams, like I said, my thing is cemeteries. I love history and I love cemeteries. So I started a Facebook page and all I did was put pictures up of different cemeteries I visited. And I did it just for fun, for myself. You know, I didn't do it to have any goals in mind. And I've now got over 5,000 people following this page from all over the world that love cemeteries too. So, like I said, it doesn't have to be a big thing or a small thing. It could be just, you know, a page on yourself and investigations that you've done that you want to share with people. And then, you know, you can go from there and become an investigator or have a little team of your own. Or you can just be a solo investigator. There's a lot of them around.
Do you need to have the technology?
No, you know what? When we started, we basically had a camera and we had an EVP recorder and a K2 meter. But your camera is your best tool. If you've got a good camera and you take pictures, you'd be surprised what comes up in it. It could be, you think you've just taken pictures of like corner or you know, like a bit of landscape in a cemetery or a house or wall or something like that. But then when they you put them up and you have a look at them, you might have caught an orb, you might have caught an apparition, you might have caught something else. So you'd be surprised what you can get on your camera. I would say your camera is always your best tool.
Just like a phone camera?
Preferably for like a camera, one that you can, you know, flash, zoom in, because you can use your phone camera to start. Jason, it depends what kind of phone you got. Jason's got a newish sort of phone, Samsung, and he tends to get good photos on that. But he just started off with his camera that he had, and like K2 meters and cat balls and that are all good, but they're gimmicky. They're for more entertainment purposes. You know what I mean? But your camera's always going to be reliable. Sorry, Annie, you were saying something?
You know those Instax, like the Polaroid kind of cameras, would they be good?
Oh, like the instant cameras? Don't know. Never tried it, so I won't say yes or no. We just had an old-fashioned camera that took an SD card, and so when we took photos of different places, we just take a lot of, and when I do in-house investigations, I just take lots and lots of photos. I go in the corners, I go into the rooms, I just take lots and lots of photos in different places and different angles, and then we upload the card onto the computer and we have a look at each and every one. And 7 out of 10 you probably get nothing but furniture and a wall, but the other 3 you will always capture something if there's something there.
Because I know an ex-friend of mine actually took some like those Instax photos in this house, and literally most of them had like green orbs.
Well, green's
It's usually a
healing.
good thing, isn't it? Mm.
Yeah, green's a good thing. It's a healing colour. So maybe they were sending her healing energy.
Well, she needed it.
Wasn't asking. I was saying they have both medium and empath. Yeah, I love the cemetery. I've got a page, cemeteries. Sorry, I got bad eyesight. So all the writing here is really small because Jason's got this little laptop. So that's why he puts them up for me. So if I've missed your question or what you were saying before, I apologise. Yeah, my page is cemeteries and abandoned places and other creepy places. And sometimes I just share other people's YouTubes on creepy things and old pictures of creepy things, but I never make them my own. And yeah, I've started off from, I think I had about 10 people to now over 5,000, and people love my page.
Oh, I love abandoned, creepy places, and I love old places.
Me too. And you know what? I love churches. I really love old, like creepy looking churches. I love gothic looking things. Maybe I'm a goth at heart, but I just love it. And look, my advice is just you can either start your own little channel about you and grow from there, or start a media page about yourself and then network. You'd be surprised how many people follow
really
you.
Weird question.
And when you do, send us your links so we can follow you and subscribe and share you around too. So.
Thanks. I will definitely think about it. Sorry, Annie, you said something?
It smells dead now. Oh.
This one? Okay.
I'm going to get that grass cut because something smells dead and I don't think it's in the grass, but...
The Funky Parlor was asking something, I think. Asking me something? I'm not sure.
You a medium empath. I think you are. She was asking you.
Oh. Technically, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to name myself or what to name myself or what sort of titles or whatever I fall under, because unlike a lot of people, I haven't, studied per se. I haven't done any workshops or courses or anything, so...
But you don't have to do any courses. The only one thing you need to know is how to protect yourself. So whoever you pray to, whatever ritual you do, like Sula said, as long as you're intense in it, protect yourself before an investigation. Whatever you want to call yourself for a business is up to you. Jason's was pretty easy. It was Jason Ghost Hunter, and because he had this channel before I met him, I just, even though I'm part of it now, I still leave it the same because it was his baby. You can be Bex Ghost Hunting. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. So
I'll put it up there for you.
Yeah.
Just breathe.
The smell of salt.
I feel
always
you
smell
still
a dead smell.
Still scared. I feel you. I'm still scared.
Who's that?
Yes.
To? Annie.
Yeah. But you don't have to be a professional because we're all learning. That's the beauty of this, and you will meet people along the way that can give you advice or steer you in that direction. Or when you network, you're always learning. Like I learn off so many other people, and and I keep learning, and that's what I love about meeting other teams. Like, we swap ideas. We'll go, this worked for me. What would work for you? We've talked about protection now. Every team I've spoken to, they have some sort of ritual of protection before and after, whether it's a prayer or, some sort of cleansing. But yeah, a lot of people started with just a camera or EVP recorder, or even just a K2, which I think are pretty cheap. They're on eBay for about $20. But yeah, just your camera is always going to be your most reliable tool, and you don't have to be a pro. You get more confident as you go. The more you do it, the more confident you get.
Yep. Okay. I use salt. I'm a spiritualist, so I use salt.
Yeah,
I found
use
that
salt.
that works. Yeah.
You feel things and you
Yeah, I
smell
use
things.
salt. I'm a spiritual person. I find good way to cleanse your aura. I put salt on my crown chakra and stand under the shower and just visualize the white light.
If you smell things, I think there's a title for a name for that. Annie, I can't think of what it's called.
Literally,
Yeah,
like,
I
I
don't
can
know.
feel like it feels cold, and then all of a sudden I smell sulfur, and now I'm smelling like dead, rotten flesh, and that's what happens every night. It's pretty bad.
I know, you can Google it up. I know clairaudience is the hearing. There's so
sometimes,
many
like, the hearing,
different
I hear something
titles. There's
ring knocks on my
clairsentient, where you can sense things or smell, I think. Clairsentient. But everybody's got gifts. Like, everybody's unique.
Like, I almost want to like rip like my furniture apart because it smells like there's something dead right next to me.
Well, it's not a good smell. Then you need to pray.
No, I've just lost my appetite for my chocolate.
That's not good.
No. No,
It's
then I
every
get pretty
single one.
angry because I
That's
like
why
my
I'm
chocolate. Then I'm praying and I'm getting rid of whatever it is because I want my chocolate.
Oh gosh, I've been wanting those chocolates for a few months, and I said I could have them for my birthday, and now I don't want them. Ugh.
Look,
So funky.
And then
look,
the sulfur
undo
comes
it.
back.
Look, undo it. Flick said.
Clairsentience. Julia knows clairsentience.
Oh, disgusting.
Oh no, there's different gifts that people have, and they've all got different names, but I don't know them all out of the top of my head.
I know a few. There's
The
Claire.
first time I actually went looking for like rotten dog meat in the lounge room. I thought it was that, and then it got really, really strong. I'm like, that's not dog meat. Like, it's bad.
Maybe one of the pets did something.
No, because I don't have anything on my floor, just so I can tell.
And it happens every night?
Yeah, about the same time every night too. Yuck.
Like I said,
I think
I'll
I've got some pictures
have to message you stuff.
Yeah.
I'll message you stuff and what to do. I'll show you how to cleanse your house.
I'm just going to grab some fix. Put that on my nose.
The person in the chat was saying, I'm a little confused because they're saying, just breathe, I feel you, I'm still scared. No, you, Beck. And I said, what are you scared of? And they said, people.
People are terrifying.
Maybe they just pick it up because you're coming into it, you haven't quite found your path, and because you're a little bit wary and you're scared to go that next extra level for yourself. That's where she's saying, but when you do, you breathe and try and calm yourself before you do things.
I've smelled roadkill that smells more pleasant than that.
So maybe that's what they're saying to you there, Beck.
Maybe because you've been like lacking confidence too. That's also a form of fear, like saying I'm not strong enough or I don't know enough, or, you know, most of the paranormal investigators I know didn't do a course to be a paranormal investigator. They just started off by wanting to do it and having a mentor and or learning off others. But yeah, there's it's in your heart, and if you know, you said that you want to help people and that's something you really want to do, then don't let anyone stop you or make you feel that you're not good enough to do it. Okay?
Thanks, I appreciate that.
There's the power gone
You're
again.
more than welcome.
And if you've got any, you know, if you're not sure about things, you know, like,
My power.
and you want somebody to ask questions to, you can always get a hold of, you know, on my Ghost Hunter page on Facebook. You can send us a message. Julie always answers them. It doesn't matter what question it is or what it is. You can always ask a question towards us, and we'll be happy enough to help you.
My power's gone out again.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
What the hell's going on?
No, not a problem. That's what we
Power on over there.
like to do in the para unity world. We like to help others, and you know, it's we're all one big family.
Yeah.
We're all chasing the same dream, and there's enough haunted places in the world for us all to explore in and have fun in. So, and help others in.
If you don't mind me asking, have you guys had any negative or I don't know, malicious or evil experiences?
Yep.
Yep. We've had a house that we investigated, or it wasn't a house, it was an apartment.
Yeah.
And the poor girl, she was being tormented by something quite awful. And we went out there, and like I said, the apartment backed on like a river. And this river, because what I do before I go to a place, I'll try and look up history to see if there's anything that could be causing the haunting, or any explanation, so I kind of know what I'm up against, you know. And
Getting confused.
this place had a lot of gangland type history where people had been murdered and their bodies tossed in the river, and, you know, it had a bit of a sordid history. And when we went up there, I said, let's go and have a look at this water. And when we were there, it was just like a creek. And it kind of bubbled, and we wondered if it was an eel or something. But then Jason felt pushed from behind, and he started falling towards this water. I've screamed and grabbed hold of him because I was scared he was going to go in.
You missed the water about that much.
Yeah, missed it by centimetres. Then we went and did the investigation, and I did a cleansing. I felt it was outside. It was no longer in. And Jason also felt it was outside. It wasn't in. But we were in separate rooms when we both had this decision. And we had someone else with us taking photos everywhere. And lo and behold, one of the photos was a really nasty-looking man looking through the window. And afterwards, like I said, I went back to the creek after the investigation. And I kept the EVP recorder going, but I threw salt and I did some prayers. And there was a lot of screams heard on the EVP recorder, and someone saying, it's burning, it hurts, it hurts. So obviously I was cleansing the creek. It was the bad energy from the water, which is a conduit anyway, affecting the neighbourhood.
Okay.
And we've had other experiences too, where we've had people, you know, have had bruises or cuts or scratches, and, you know, their house has been haunted. We've actually got a case at the moment where she's too afraid to sleep in the house. We've had people like that one lady, she slept in a car for 2 years. Sometimes she'd just drive up to her house, and she was too scared to go in the door. And we went in and had those kind of cases, and it was like Not smell so much, but just an oppressive sort of feeling. You felt like you were being watched all the time, strange noises. She had like poltergeist type activity in her home. So, and that place did have portals and it was demonic. And in the end, all she did, because it kept coming back, she ended up selling the house.
Yeah.
About
That sounds a little
that
too
cemetery.
familiar right now.
That's what. Like,
Oh, yeah. Look,
I was good at this one.
there's a cemetery nearby where I live. It's quite an old cemetery, and it's got like an old schoolhouse and a church in the grounds, and it's part of the historical society, and it's beautiful. But it's in the middle of nowhere, and at night, or probably just as active during the day, but we've gone out there a few times at night, and it's really, really active. I've had growls, and I've had a big branch fall out of the tree, fall nearly on my feet. Jason and Felicity and I, Flick, Funky Parlour, came out one night, and I actually hid behind Flick because I was still at the scaredy cat
Meanwhile,
stage
she's
at
shorter.
the time, because he took off, and I can't see anything in the dark anyway. But when you're standing there in the pitch black and you're feeling 1,000 eyes staring,
I've got to head off, guys.
not in a good way,
I'm just
doesn't make you feel very good. It makes you want to run. But yeah, so I hid behind
Annie.
Flick, shorter than me, and yeah, Jason realised that we needed help.
And then I come back to help
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so got a few funny stories and a few scary stories, but that's part of your growth. You'll come across things that you'll find fascinating. You'll come across things that might go, oh, that's a bit freaky, but then it'll challenge you to want to go back and face it. You know what I mean? Because the lower entities do feed on fear and starve on faith. So if you remain protected.
Would you describe as a lower entity? I know you and Sula mentioned it many times, but
Yeah, that's for sure.
A lower entity is someone that's not a demon. It's just a nasty person that could have been a murderer in life, or someone that was just a horrible person, and they've died, but they, still want to be mean. So then they'll hurt other people. They'll convince you to take drugs. They'll convince you to hurt yourself. They attach to you. And if you're in a vulnerable, like I'll never go to an investigation if I'm feeling sick or if I'm really, really tired, because then my energy is really low. And because I'm being an open portal walking around, trying to communicate with spirits, and I've got devices on me, well, then I'm only prey. I'm fresh meat to these type of entities. So a lower entity is one that's not quite a demon, but it's not a very nice spirit either, and they want to create havoc. And more than probably 8 out of 10 spirits in haunted houses where people say, I've got stuff going on, I'm too scared to sleep, or my kids are getting harassed, they're usually lower entities.
So I know them as malicious spirits, but I'm pretty sure they're the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I just call them
I had
lower
one of
entities.
those. Yeah. I have one guy who he's a dickhead. The cops pulled him over up the road. It was on the news, on local news here in Melbourne. But the cops pulled him over for speeding. He was on a motorcycle. Cops got out of the car. He decided, no, I'm going to speed off and ride away from the cops because I'm faster than him. And then just down the road from my house, in front of a primary school, no less, he lost control and decapitated himself. And of course, me being the empath that I am, he came round here first with head in his hand saying, hey, can you help me put my head back together? And started swearing at me like an absolute nasty so-and-so. And I told him to go and get, he was not nice.
Yeah, it would have been very traumatizing too, seeing him holding his head like that.
Hey, Flick, come on board.
And being a sudden death too, that would have been fuel for the fire because they tend to stick around having a real sudden death like that, especially when it's like something violent. You know what I mean?
Fortunately, let's just say his collectors came to collect him and take him to hell. So not long after. That's the one good thing sometimes I found about sudden deaths is the other side. If sometimes they know pretty quick. Other times, some people don't even know they've died. I've done a few of those. Helped out with a few of those where people have passed away in their sleep or very suddenly of medical conditions that have been painless and they don't even know they've passed.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. My own grandma, when she passed, I don't think she knew that she passed on. And my grandpa, when he passed, my 2-year-old nieces at the time grabbed his photo, and he was still, like, it was only a couple of minutes after he passed, grabbed his photo and said, "Pop's here." And my sister said, "He's at Sydney in hospital." And she said, "No, he's here in the lounge room." And I think he knew pretty quickly. But I have noticed, like, some spirits could be 200 years and they still don't even realise that they're passed. You know?
Yep, I've moved on one of them. I helped to move on one of them in Europe. Oh my goodness, as a favour. I occasionally have spirits.
Yes,
Hello.
Leslie.
Leslie.
I occasionally have spirits that come and ask me to help them, and I had one of those. He was from I don't know, I can't remember which century, but yeah.
I've asked spirits, because I'm clairaudient, I've asked them once, "What's it like to be dead?" Because I ask stupid questions. And they said it's like being stuck in a dream.
Yeah, I think it can be. It can be. It depends, I think, on what sort of person you were in life and what you did in life. And I believe that if you're a good, if not decent person in life, then you've got no problems in the afterlife. You should move on. No problem, unless of course you've got unfinished business, Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I think that too. And then you've got the ones with the strong family links, or, ones that are territorial. They're not ready to let go of their earthly things. So,
or the family
Yeah.
doesn't want to let go of them.
Mm.
And the energy.
well, I've actually got the opposite, Flick. I've got his sister that will not go away. She was a nasty piece of shit. Can I just say that out loud?
Is
And
Jason's sister.
yeah, Linda.
Oh, how good on you.
And she keeps turning up. She keeps turning up, and she's even come through the apps.
Jason,
Yes,
can't you just talk to her so then she'll leave her alone?
I have. I'll let her have her
She keeps
say.
coming back.
And then I say, well, you've had your say. Now, a lot of words in between telling her never return. And, yeah. She wants
Wow.
forgiveness. And I've given her forgiveness.
Why would she forgive that bitch?
So she can move on.
Well, who wants it? I want to move on to hell, not frigging something good.
So I've done everything correctly, but I don't know what she wants.
Family feud here. No, look, long story short, he had a sister that was a very nasty, nasty, nasty person, that even went as far as duplicating Facebook accounts and Instagram accounts and tried to make out he was an unsavory character with criminal intents, and then tried to message me and say, "Look what your husband's up to, and you're just being used and lied to and everything like that." And I ended up taking them to the police. They were that disgusting. That's the only way I could get them to stop.
And that's only just the top of the iceberg, hey?
Yeah.
I'm not getting too much into detail, but you can imagine what these accounts are, and they were ones that they created.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't worry. I have and grew up with narcissistic parents, so fun times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
But I know
so-
what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
So I'll
older
forgive
sister
her.
kept being annoying like that. Yeah. Yep, my older sister was like that for a while. She my older sister died about 6 or 7 years ago now. Yeah, she kept coming back, which was very, very annoying. I kept telling her, go and see your kids, go and watch over them or something, will you? Jeez.
Yeah.
And she kept coming back to say hi. And what was really annoying was she kept particularly for some reason you had this thing about coming to me when I was in the shower. That was the most annoying bit. I was like, just let me have my shower in peace, will you? Jeez.
Yeah, could you imagine washing your hair and you got the soap in your eyes and you open them up and go, ah, it's not who I expected.
Yeah.
Just like, do you mind? She's like, nah. My older sister, she's a tomboy. She didn't give a shit. So yeah.
Come hit that one.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? Heather, you're based in New South Wales too, aren't you, Don?
Well, people are coming online.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be really freaky. I wouldn't like the shower experiment in at all.
I'm just glad it was my sister.
Thank you. Where are you from there, Heather?
I tell you what, when I was at one of the other investigations on one of our YouTube, I had one of the spirits come through and he was checking out my thigh. I felt so uncomfortable.
I'm from South Australia. Oh, South Australia.
And then the word came through heavy and I went, I don't know if I like this conversation.
She's from South Australia.
Okay. Well, welcome aboard.
Adelaide. Oh, we've been to Adelaide.
Yep. Got a few South Australian people.
So we've got myself in Melbourne, you guys in New South Wales, and Heather from South Australia. So we've covered the 3 lockdown states. Go us.
And Falana, my sister Annie, she's in South Australia as well. So yeah, and Flick's from New South Wales.
Yep.
Wow. So we've got all states.
Besides Brisbane,
Queensland.
Northern Territory, and Western Australia. We haven't got them yet. So with any of those guys get on, it'd be great.
I could get Jules.
Hey?
I said I could get Jules on you.
Yeah, where'd she go? She went to Queensland now.
Yeah. She's in between Brisbane and Hervey Bay.
Nice.
Oh,
So
thank you for joining.
Yeah,
thank you very much for joining. If you've got any questions about ghost hunting or anything like that, please don't hesitate to ask the questions. You know, we've got all these great people here. They'll answer any questions too, and you know, don't be shy to ask. I was born in Queensland. Does that count?
That's fine by us.
That's Darby's sister.
So, Flick, do you mind? Tell me a bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure. What would you like to know?
You're asking me. I like your hair, by the way. You're asking me a few questions and saying some things earlier.
Oh, Jason and Julie will tell you, I was like a bit like you, like, yeah, I'm an empath. And then it was like, yeah, no, you're a medium too. And it was like, yeah, kind of, sort of, whatever. And yeah, I just got sick of the ghosts coming into my bedroom and waking me up. And that's when I decided that I was going to go after them on their own turf to see how they liked it. Can you hear me all right? Because I got the volume down a bit.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yep.
And I was actually driving, a passenger, my husband and I were driving back through Mount Druitt, heading back to Penrith, and Jason in his tiny little black car at that time drove in front with the ghost hunting, and yeah, something in me just made me call this stranger in this car. And then the next thing I knew, a couple of weeks later, we were off to Fisher's Ghost. And that's when I was scared to go in the tunnel, actually, because I couldn't see the light at the end of it.
Oh, do you know what? I've been in that tunnel and I was more scared of spiders than anything. I can
That
handle
didn't bother
ghosts,
me.
not spiders.
No, I could hit them with a shoe. That was fine. But the killer person was breathing down my neck before I even got into the tunnel. And yeah, Jason just picked me up and walked me into the middle of the tunnel. But funny enough, the tunnel had a little kink in it. And then I could actually see the street lights out the other end. I was fine after that. I just needed to see my escape route. But like, I drove there in an old Magna, and the key lock never worked on my car. And like, I got out the car, shut the car. Now I bring 2 friends along too, because I told them, if I'm going to die from this stranger, well, you're going to die with me, okay? So, because that's what you do, right? So anyway, we got out of the car and the car locked itself. And this key had not worked for years. So that was pretty freaky. So I have a lot of things that happened to me, but the ghost that was breathing down my neck was actually visiting me a few days before at work. So, because I was having the same feelings then, and that's just a bit about my life, but like how I met Jason, and then Jason met Julia, and we all became close, and then there's a little bit of fluff in between. But, you know, mine started from a very young age. I grew up on a farm. When I was 2 years old, I climbed in a cow's trough and I actually drowned. And I got brought back. So I've had a near-death experience, which I've been working through on and off. I also see demons and stuff like that too, which was hard for me. And that's how Jason and I became very close, because he was very in tune that way, and we just got each other, you know, like a brother and a sister. And he could tell when I was having these attacks, you know, because they'd always happen at night time and stuff like that, and he would just know, and he'd message or call, and still does that, you know. And then, you know, yeah, so just working through a lot of stuff. Jason and I and Julia have also had similar backgrounds in our life as well. And I don't know, we all still stay very kind people and down to earth and want to help people. I think that's one of the main things, you know, and just to feel that, you know, you're not nuts was another good thing, or nuts in a good way, you know what I mean? But I only do readings for people when I feel comfortable. Being a hairdresser too is a different experience, because you're always touching around, you know, where the silver cord is and the pineal gland. That I used to pick stuff up on people, and I'd be like getting ready to cut their hair, and if they were new, I'd start dropping everything, and I'd be like, I was fine a second ago, but I didn't realize that the empath side of me, I was picking up on their nervousness. So then it would physically show on me, you know. Or when I went to the spiritual church, I'd walk up to find my seat and it'd be like, oh, that person, someone's got a knee ache here, and somebody's got a backache there, and somebody's got a headache over there, you know. So it was learning how to work with it all, but I haven't been able to switch it off per se. You know, you watch a lot of shows and they go, yep, I just do this and switch it off. That does not happen for me. So, you know, it's there. I can pretend I've switched it off, but that doesn't happen. So, yeah.
I actually read a book. I actually got a book from one of the Body, Mind, Spirit festivals I went to. It's called Journey of an Empath. I highly recommend it. It's stories of empaths from around the world, including Australia, and their stories and how they found out they were empaths, to you know, their experiences every day, and some people even go through how they live their lives as an empath, how they try and be careful of who they surround themselves by or with. They be careful with the environments where they go. They'd be careful with the TV shows and things that media that they watch. I found it really interesting, and there's all sorts of different. They're all different religions and cultures and things as well. So I don't mean to promote. So I don't.
That's all right. No, we like it.
Please do, because
Yeah.
you know,
Fire.
there could be someone
Just
that's an
yeah.
empath that's going to watch this, and they might like to get that book. So please do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's called Journey of an Empath, a collection of personal stories from empaths around the world. I bought it for like $10, so it's not expensive. But yeah, I found it a really good read, and it was really, for me as an empath, I read it and went, it was one of those, oh my goodness, me too, moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally, resonate.
Yeah,
So
it's hard. I just learned in the last couple of years to, to say to people, to myself, that it's not my journey, so that I don't go around trying to save everyone, because people have got to live their own journey too.
Yep,
They've
that's
got
it.
to ask you if they want help,
All right, guys. Well, we might call it quits tonight. We've been on for 3 hours. We're going to do some
Coffee
stretches because we've been sitting on this lounge chair for so long. But to everybody that's been watching, thank you very much. Stay tuned for our next guest. And
we'll put the links up on the Jason Goes Hunter page for the people that have been watching the earlier channel with Sula. So if they're interested in doing her tours or attending the expo, or even her YouTube channel or her Facebook page, we'll put the information up so you can access those. And just want to say a sincere thank you to everyone for coming to say hi. Thank you to Beck for coming on, and thank you to Flick for coming on and sharing your stories. Thank you to Annie, and happy birthday, by the way.
And thank you, Heather, for joining also.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to Jeff earlier, and anyone else that I may have missed, thank you. And we'll be back next week with our live chat on Sunday night. Stay tuned.
And stay tuned for who's going to be next. And if you haven't subscribed to our channels, definitely subscribe and like and share the videos. And thank you again, everybody, for coming. And we'll talk to you soon, Heather. Beck, don't forget to come and like Jason Ghost Hunter page on Facebook. And you'll be able to communicate with Julia and I through that too if you've got any questions or anything like that. And we'll be happy enough to give you a hand also.
I appreciate that. Thanks very much, guys. Have a good night.
No problem. Anytime.
Catch us all later.
Bye.